The Pint with Larry Krueger from The KREUG Show and John Lund from John Lund Unleashed on YouTube. The bottom of the pint. Beers and baseball. Each Giants Friday, because with this team, beers and maybe something stronger is a must. The Bottom of the Pint, debuting with a special opening day edition, Thursday, March 27th at 1 p.m. Pacific on The KREUG Show and John Lund Unleashed channels on YouTube. Bring your own cold beers and kick off the Giants season with the Bottom of the Pint.
And away we go. Look at that. Look at that.
Baby. Opening day.
Woo! I like that.
Let's do this, man.
John Lund, Larry Krueger with you. Opening day. Happy opening day. It is the 143rd year of Giants baseball, and they are about to be underway in Cincinnati against the Reds. And we're going to be with you on Fridays. And which is going to be mostly a Friday night show, either early evening or late evening, depending on what time the game starts. But, man, really fired up for this year and really fired up to talk, talk some ball. And, we're going to talk a lot of baseball. We're going to talk about the game. Obviously we're watching Kev's going to design a little wraparound that's going to have the scoreboard on it. That's going to be very cool. We'll be debuting that. And we're just gonna have a lot of fun in game. I've never done in-game YouTube, but I know people that have, and the watch party is a cool thing, John. And it's like I'm really fired up. I feel like since we are going to, we're gonna throw a few back on this show from time to time, and we're not gonna do it for the hell of it. We're gonna do it for a purpose. Like when the Giants hit a home run, I think.
Oh, they didn't hit a home run. Sorry.
No home run. I mean, you feel free to do whatever you want. I mean, you're an adult. But I today will be debuting the Heine, and I will crack it. And then
that's a very nice sound. I like
get
it.
The crackage going and the pour, hopefully without a lot of foam. Okay, we're gonna have to give that some time. But anyway, we're gonna for home runs, Giants home runs. We will slam. We'll also do one in the 7th inning stretch.
Gotta.
And basically, we're gonna talk some Giants baseball, but we're also gonna talk some other things. Like, when we're on here Friday night of day 2 of the draft, I mean, we'll be talking about the draft.
Yeah, you'll go crazy about it.
But since we're here, I will say this about Giants and Reds. Don't look at this. I know people are like, it's just 1 of 162. It doesn't mean anything. They all mean nothing. None of these games mean anything. But I will say this. I looked at the breakdown of the divisions, and I don't know how you feel, but I kind of think that the Giants have a shot at the wild card, and this Reds team is probably going to be the team that they battle for that wild card spot. I would say the Diamondbacks, the Giants, and the Reds are probably going to battle for 2 wild card spots in the National League, figuring the Braves get the other if the Phillies win the division. So I have Braves, and I'm looking at opening day. I always think about making some predictions, and this is what I got. I got Phillies in the East, Cubs in the Central, Dodgers in the West, obviously. Braves, wild card, Diamondbacks, wild card. And then the third wild card is either Giants or Reds.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that this is a playoff game today or anything, but these games do matter, these head-to-head games. And Hunter Green's on the mound for the Reds today, by the way. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's just one of the best arms in all of baseball. Guy's just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Been hurt and everything. But he's going to be a challenge today. But that's why. So I actually think Giants Reds for the final wild card. In the American League, I'm going Tampa, Cleveland, Texas. I think the Yankees and Mets, New York shut out of the postseason. I'm going A's, Boston, and Kansas City as wild cards. I got Giants and A's going to the playoffs. Wow. And I got Melvin and Kotze as managers of the year. And I got that A's kid, Kurtz, as the AL Rookie of the Year. Nick Kurtz.
So here's what we'll do too is, first of all, to everybody, happy opening day. Opening day is awesome. I got beers here. I got dogs here. I got a cooler behind me. I got popcorn, peanuts. I got everything. I made the room up today to have everything. So here's what we got so far, and we'll keep you up to date on everything. We'll have an overlay on Friday nights. We're just off to the beta stage of this whole thing. But so 3 up, 3 down against Hunter Green, 2 strikeouts to finish it. Jung Hoo Lee just struck out as Logan Webb's getting ready to go to the mound. Willie Adames struck out in his first at bat as a Giant, and a pop to shortstop by what used to be late night Lamont. So that's 3 up, 3 down for the Giants. We'll keep you up to date on everything as we're talking along. And by the way, feel free to, libations and so forth, like I said. But one of the things that you and I said we were going to do in this show was that, first of all, we'll keep you updated on everything. And we'll talk ball and everything else. And we want your thoughts and your supers and all that kind of stuff, but no negative. And if you want to be negative, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long we can do this. We're going to try to stay as positive as we can because we just want to have fun, talk ball, like you said. We're not going to sit there and be all yelling and screaming and getting mad. If you just got to put into the swear jar. I mean, that's the bottom line is, if you want to freak out, you got to put into the swear jar. I'm going to have this attitude this year for the Giants, whether that is warranted or not, of I'm going to try to stay positive. And then if things are warranted, then okay. But I'm going to try to stay positive because what's interesting about this year, Krueg, I wrote a whole piece on this at johnlundunleashed.com. So since they last won their World Series in 2014, so from 15 to 24 is 10 years, right? So the last 10 years for the Giants, even with that 107 win team, their record is 761 and 757. So their average record is 81 and 81. Out of the last 10 years, 6 times they haven't made the playoffs. 6 times. Twice, 16 and 21 they did. And then the other time that wasn't a losing record was 81 and 81. So 6 losing records, or 6 out of the playoffs, 1 81 and 81, and twice they made the playoffs. They're the dictionary definition over the last 10 years of, as Richard Sherman said, mediocre. And that's what they are. So we got to hope that they break this string of 81, 81, 78, 84, 79, 83, 80, 82. That's the team they've been outside of 2021 for the majority of these last 10 years since they last won a championship. That's what
Reds
it is.
Lineup is TJ Friedel in center, Matt McGlane at second. Elly De La Cruz is my NL MVP, by the way.
Guy.
He's at short. Gavin Lux is now a Red. He's in left.
That's weird.
Jeimer Candelario's at third. Spencer Steer, the DH. Christian Encarnacion Strand, who's a pretty good hitter. He's at first. Jake Fraley in right. Jose Trevino behind the dish.
Yankee.
Great American Ballpark. Looks kind of a little overcast. Big home run yard. Should be a lot of balls flying today. I do like the Giants. I'll tell you why as we go. But I do like the Giants this year. I do think, I went down to spring training. I put my eyes on it, had a chance to go, in the clubhouse, talk to some of the players, and talk to Melvin and just get a feel. Baseball, you got to vibe it. You got to feel it. And to me, it was it's really important to go down there and kind of put boots on the ground and talk to some people and see some games. And, let's be honest, I just want to do a damn road trip, right? I want to do a road trip.
Absolutely.
I want to do a road trip with my boys. And so we road tripped and we played golf, and it was a lot of fun, man. We're totally going to do it next year. It's really, really fun. Arizona, and it was even the driving part. It was kind of fun, even though it was long as hell. On the way
I got to
back.
tell you, you take your kids into spring training. It's one of the coolest things. I took my kid when he was about 12 years old in 2016. And we went into the Giants clubhouse, went into the A's clubhouse. Kevin Youkilis was working for the Cubs. We went into the Cubs clubhouse. It was insane. I mean, it was just, it's one of the most fun things you can ever do. And if next year you can with your kids, it's more expensive than it used to be, but still sitting on the lawn, drinking some beers, Arizona sun, players are laid back. You can get autographs. It's just one of the coolest things you could ever do. It's awesome.
That Logan Webb mustache, by the way.
Dude, what is that? Dude, it looks like my kid is 21
dude,
and has a dirty mustache. He looks just like that.
Your kid's mustache. It needs we could do a show.
I tried to tell him.
I've
tried to tell him. But bro, it's so awful.
I was thinking about calling this show George Lund's mustache.
Dude, it's so bad.
Because
it's so bad.
How incredible would it be if we called this show George Lund's mustache?
And then just showed people what it looked like?
It's this kid. I mean, he normally would look really, really young.
Yeah, he's a nice looking kid.
But he's got a thick mustache now. I mean, it's like a. I mean,
it's terrible.
It's like Ron Guidry from the '80s or something. I mean, it's an incredible mustache. It's very full. It's very full.
Yeah, and he's becoming a little bit of a public figure, so it's really bad. So I'm just trying to get him to knock it off, but you know how it is with your kids, man. They're not having it. But anyway, that's how it goes.
Here's Elly De La Cruz.
Yeah, see, this guy scares the hell out of me, man.
I got this guy winning the MVP. This guy, oh yeah, this guy's gonna have a 25-80 season. He's gonna steal 80 bags. He's gonna hit 25 home runs, maybe 30.
Somebody will let him. You think somebody will let him steal 80?
He was 25-67 last year.
Yeah, he's
this
good.
Dude is gonna have a 30-80
peanuts.
I got this guy winning the MVP. I think Elly.
Well, if the Reds can win enough, you know what's interesting? I just sent you something from
Elly De La Cruz.
Oh, I love him. I just sent you something there that is from Baseball Prospectus. You know, they do their thing before the season, and they update it throughout the year. They have the Reds at 70 in last place in the Central, and they only have one team from the Central making the playoffs, which is unbelievable to me. And they have the Reds winning 74 games. And to me, there's no way the Reds are winning 74 games. They're much better. They're much better than that. And so they err on the side always of low numbers, but I think the Reds are pretty solid. Like today, Hunter Green is their starter. That's an all-star starter throwing 100 miles an hour.
Oh, dude, the Reds are. If you had to watch one team in baseball outside of the Giants, for me, I would probably choose a team like the Reds because I love this yard they're in because the ball just jumps.
Oh, yeah.
Two, this guy right here is the most fun guy to watch in baseball. I mean, this guy's going to steal 80 bags, and he's got 30 home run power. I mean, he's a gigantic, and he's fast, and he's fun to watch. He just walked.
That's all
this
right.
is the one thing I don't like is I like the old days when everybody just went up there and they just hit. Now everybody's got an elbow pad, an arm pad, a foot pad, a this pad. Everybody gets undressed. Now he's putting on the glove. He's putting on the mitten, and I don't know. To me, all that stuff is just a little too much.
Well, it just means that you have no fear when you're hitting. Because part of the thing was, at least me, because I never got beyond high school, was like I had a fear of getting hit.
Yeah,
and it being painful. And the thing is, these guys are armored up, so it's like even if they dive into a pitch, who cares? It's just going to hit my elbow. Who cares? Like it's not going to hurt
my shield.
Right.
I'm Captain America here with my freaking shield.
Yeah, so they have no fear of any kind of injury up there because they got all these. Unless you get hit, as we've seen a lot of times, flesh in the hand. Things like that.
Or in the
then
foot.
or the foot, something like that. But everywhere else they have padding.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot of fear up there.
Barry started that. He was just all over the plate. And it's like he's got the big armor and he let that thing stick out too. So it would have like a profile on his elbow. So he could almost sit there and just use it as a shield. Just let and then he stood right on top of the plate. By the way, Barry said in the podcast that he could still hit 100 miles an hour.
He probably could if he knew it was coming. I mean, if somebody just said, "Hey, Barry, I'm going to throw 100," I think he could probably hit it. But if it was like, "Hey, Barry, come up to the plate," you don't know what I'm going to throw.
You might be able to make contact with it. You wouldn't hit it. I mean, I don't know.
I'd love to see it though. I love when guys talk trash like that. It's like, well, get in the, get in there. Let's see. I'd love to see that. That's something I'd watch. All right, so 2 out, 1 on. De La Cruz on first. Logan Webb just looks so casual. Logan Webb's like, yeah, it's cool, man. It's opening day. It's all right.
So my financial guy, we have a meeting earlier this month with my financial guy. And he's like, hey, I'm going to Cincinnati on opening day.
No way.
I said, really?
Marked another one. 2 on.
And I realized he's Webb's financial guy.
Oh.
He's buddies with Webb.
Yeah, he's giving him a free trip. Hey, my financial guy, come to Cincinnati, watch me pitch.
So I'm like, oh man, so you're going to Cincinnati? He's like, yeah, I'm going to Cincinnati to watch my guy. So how sweet is that?
Oh, that is nice.
And I said to him though, I go, I couldn't help but think, I'm like, my portfolio is kind of nothing compared to his, huh? I mean, it's like,
God.
I mean, Toyota calls,
and he's not even that, highly paid.
Right. That's a single, and Elly De La Cruz scores 1-0 Reds. Candelario line drive to right.
Jeez,
that was a great
so he walks.
Play by to avoid to not let that thing get by him because that was a rocket,
double
weird angle.
No, he got a single. So he got the first 2 out. De La Cruz walks. He walks 2 in a row, and then he jumps, and then Candelario jumps on the first pitch and knocks it to right. And it looked like Yaz might have been able to get to it, but then he did the smart thing.
Yaz got a terrible jump, but then he made a great dive to keep it from going to the wall. But
yeah, he did.
He got a terrible jump. He should have caught that ball. Do you think?
Yep. Yeah. Probably could. Probably
like
tell you
7 feet to run, 10 feet to run.
God, De La Cruz is so fast, and you got 2 outs, so he's just going on contact, so that's an easy score. But so now you got first and third, 2 out. They're having a meeting at the mound already, and we're 2/3 of an inning into the season. I'm staying positive. People are like, Giants baseball, baby. I don't care. I'm getting on opening day. I will not get negative on opening day. I will not. There's too many beers. There's too much of a good time. It's opening day. I'm not getting angry. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Breathe.
Not going to do it.
Breathe.
I'm not getting angry. I'm not getting negative.
Here's the thing. What we need is a little background music. We need some background music. That's what we need.
Do. Oh, there you go. Very nice. A little mellow. It was some mellow stuff. Yeah, that's not a bad call right there. Webb on the East sucks. That's probably not a bad call. This is a big out all of a sudden, though. Spencer Steer, 20 home run guy for Cincinnati. That's not a bad thing because everyone's trying to chill now. Everyone just chill out. I have some gummies in the drawer here.
Man, we got a stop set coming up here.
Already got gummies in the just in case. I got some gummies in the drawer here just in case.
Got some 95.7 Smooth.
Hey, it's Smooth Jazz. Are the Giants pissing you off because they're down 1-0 with 2 outs in the first inning? No big deal. Let's play some Smooth Jazz.
FM DJ. God, those
Smooth
guys.
Jazz.
We're good.
Giants Jazz.
Got you here on a Thursday night.
We need to come up with something. We do need to come up with some chill music, man. The official chill music of the bottom of the pint. Because I can just feel it. I can just feel it coming on. First and third. Got a 3-2 count now. It's like, come on, Logan. You got the first 2 guys out. It was so easy.
Options. Here we go. We go something.
Come on, Logan. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Oh, yes. He strikes him out to get out of the jam.
All right. See? First and third. See, that's not bad. First and third. It could have been a lot worse.
Now he's checking his hand.
He's pissed.
What do you think of that, by the way?
One run, one hit.
The ump checks the hand.
I guess the thing that I find funniest about all that is, so now they check all this kind of stuff, but like when you're on the mound, you can lick your hand, you can do all sorts of weird, but then you get off the mound, it's like, okay, then look at your glove. It's like, you don't think that pitchers have that figured out by now? They've been doing that for a few years on the mound. Like, okay, they're going to check my entire glove. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. But like, put something in your mouth. I mean, there's, you can put something on the ball easy still. They let you go. They didn't let you do that where you could go mouth and then you don't have to wipe off. You just, do whatever you want.
Seems like a big exercise in futility.
It does. Silly.
Looking around the big leagues today, by the way, opening day everywhere. Yankees up 2-1 on the Brewers. Carlos Rodon starting that game for the Yankees. The Yankees have had a ton of injuries. I don't think the Yankees going to the playoffs this year.
Well, the Garrett Cole injury we talk about spring training all the time and everybody wants to make a big deal of it. Unless there's an injury, there's nothing really to talk about. And so when you see, like in Encarnacion for the Giants, that's a big loss, man, because we'll see what Wilmer Flores does. But Wilmer Flores, 23 home runs 2 years ago, 4 last year, tons of injuries. The way Encarnacion was swinging the bat at times last year with his power, and then in spring training, and then he breaks his hand, and now you got to put Flores back in there. Ugh.
It's funny.
That kind of stuff hurts, man.
I was at a Cactus League game, and very first game, he comes running in left, and he dives forward head first, and he got his arm out, and he made the catch. And I was like, wow, that was a nice catch. And I'm like, but that's a big man, and if he doesn't get the right angle, man, he's going to put his arm in major jeopardy leading with his arm like that. And sure enough, he hurt himself. By
the way, some people are saying, come on, we're only 1 inning into this thing. At this rate, we may have to chug if we get someone on.
Here we go. Hunter Green, top of the first.
Come on.
Top of the first.
We're going to think positive. It's only the second inning.
Oh, it's the second inning.
Chapman.
First at bat of the season for Chapman. Chapman raked this spring, man. He raked. He had 247. He never drives in runs because the guy doesn't do well with runners on base. If he could just drive in a few runs, that would be
27 bombs though last year. After the start, he got off to 27. I ain't bad.
Orioles up 5-0 on Toronto, by the way. Nationals and Phillies, no score. Red Sox, Rangers in Texas, middle of the second, no score. Pirates, Marlins, no score. Angels, White Sox on the south side, no score. Guardians, Royals, no score. Mets, Astros in Houston, just underway. Braves have a 1-0 lead against the Padres, bottom of the first there. That's Chris Sale on the mound in that game for the Braves. Cardinals and Twins in a rain delay in St. Louis. That's Sonny Gray going in that one. Tigers, Dodgers at 4 o'clock. Skubal and Blake Snell. Hopefully Blake Snell takes a line drive off his face. Cubs, Diamondbacks.
I like how casually you just said that.
Oh, in the first inning, line drive off the face of Blake Snell.
By the way, Hunter Green has struck out 3 of the first 4 as Chapman awesome. Just struck out. And now Ramos has, just out of the reach. That's good.
Dude, I love Ramos. Ramos is my guy.
Okay, he's up.
D-backs tonight, Steele and Gallen. A's, Mariners tonight, Severino and Gilbert. And as I said, the A's, I think, are going to be a wild card team.
You know what I saw, by the way?
Yeah.
A prop bet that was a really interesting one. I talked about it this morning. Brent Rooker, you move up to Sacramento and your home runs are going to go up playing in Oakland versus Sacramento, especially as warm as it'll get there in the summer. And there was a prop bet on Brent Rooker to lead the American League in home runs at plus 2,500. So you're getting some pretty good odds on that. It's Aaron Judge, all that kind of stuff. But he was a guy who hit about 70% of his home runs on the road, and he hits a ton of home runs. He has about 70 home runs the last 2 years, and now he gets to hit in Sacramento instead of Oakland. That was a prop bet I was looking at. Brent Rooker.
Dude, I love Brent
Rooker. Lead
the
AL in home runs.
Oh, he's got huge power. Huge power. I think the A's look pretty good. The A's look decent to me. I do think the Giants, though, are going to be an underrated team. Ramos, was a last year's discovery. I really think this year it's going to be Matos, and now you're going to have this farm system is starting to spit dudes out. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, why are the Giants suddenly looking better? It's because Ramos was an all-star. He just struck out, by the way, against Hunter Green.
For the first 5 strikeout against Hunter Green. My God.
Hunter Green is just
okay. Next time the ball's in play, we take a drink. I mean, it's been far too low. We're in the second inning. We're not even going to drink a full beer here today. So just to get things off on the right start, because it's opening day. Somebody makes contact. Okay. 4 of the first 5 Giants have struck out as the Reds are up 1-0 in the second. The next Giant to make contact, we take a drink of beer. And we have come on, man. My beer is getting warm. Seriously. Come on. Jeez, make contact. Let's start with the basics, boys. Let's start with the basics. Let's make contact.
Swing for the fences. But I'll say this, it's
Patrick
so funny.
Bailey is up.
He strikes out. Wow. Hunter Green's going to strike out like 14 today.
So he struck out the side in the second inning. He struck out 5 of the first 6. The only guy to make contact today was Lamont Wade Jr. with the soft pop to short, and he struck out 5 in a row since then.
Hunter Green is just
Hunter Green. So next Giant. Okay, next Logan Webb strikeout or next Giant to make contact, we at least take a drink. Okay, because or else we're going to sit here all day and we're going to be parched.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe what we'll do is we have to take a drink every 3 innings, no matter even if the Giants don't do anything in those 3 innings.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's Logan Webb strikeout and the next Giant to make contact offensively. That was it, because we thought we were going to do beers and definite chug for a home run.
Definitely.
Extra base hit, certainly a chug.
7th inning stretch. We got to go 7th inning.
Yeah, 7th inning stretch. I think we're getting to the point here early where if they get a hit, we're chugging.
Well, just taking
a drink.
I mean, I think at this, or how about this? First base runner of the season.
Yeah.
First base runner of the season.
Just a walk or whatever, man.
Okay.
Something. Jeez, man.
And a half hour from now. Look, somebody who gets to a 2-0 count.
I mean, seriously, he struck out 5 of the first 6. He's good. I'm not. Hunter Green is
a guy
good.
Who's got good walk-up music.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but the reason I'm a little bullish on the Giants this year, a little bit more. Elliot Ramos, Luis Matos, Patrick Bailey, Tyler Fitzgerald, Casey Schmidt had a really good spring. Luciano's right there on the verge. Eldridge is 19. He was at AAA last year. He's, who knows what his future looks like. But they got a bunch of guys. They got 5 or 6 guys right now. And then they've got, James Tibbs, the Florida State kid who was their first round pick in last year's draft, got the high A ball. He looked good this spring. And they've got this shortstop from Venezuela named Johnny Level, who has got crazy bat speed and unbelievable switch hitter. They say he's kind of a stronger version of Rafael Furcal. They just signed this kid, another shortstop, 5-tool kid out of the Dominican named Joshua Gonzalez for $2.9 million. And they say he's a 5-tool shortstop. I saw Kyle Haynes, the Giants farm director, ground ball to second to lead off the bottom of the second for the Reds. Fitzgerald making that play easily. But talking up Joshua Gonzalez is a 5-tool shortstop who they're really excited about. So that's interesting. They drafted Dakota Jordan. They've got Rainier Arias, Bo Davidson. So the Giants have some bats in the farm system coming up, and that's what led to their 3 titles. All of a sudden, it was like, here's Panic, here's Posey, here's Belt, here's Pablo. All of a sudden, their homegrown position players all came of age at one period, and that's what kind of was the foundation position player-wise to their championships. And that the same thing could happen here. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win championships or any of these guys are super special. But I think, even though I didn't like Farhan and the whole tone that he set, I think it's pretty safe to say when you look at their farm system now, it's deeper than the one that he inherited. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, the one thing is that, and again, bounce out to first base. So 2 outs in the first. The Reds lead the Giants 1-0. Giants don't have a run. They've struck out in 5 of their first 6 at bats. And thanks for joining us. Bottom of the Pint, our initial edition. And again, Fridays, we're going to do this. Krueg and I for all Friday Giants games. And we'll have an overlay. We're just kind of doing the first show, but we'll have an overlay so you can follow along with the game. But we'll keep you up to date as best we can as we're kind of going along here. And again, Logan Webb, a little bit of a rough first inning, but got out of it. And it's 1-0 Reds here in the bottom of the second at Great American Small Park. Happy opening day to everybody, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I was in the preview, I was thinking about the Giants this year, and I thought to myself, when you have ifs in any sport, you just get nervous. And so there are guys who you look at and say, okay, these guys are in the bank. And then you have other things where you just say, what if? So, like, for example, Logan Webb today, to me, is in the bank. I know he got off to a little rough start, but I'd be surprised if Logan Webb isn't in there in the 7th inning, and he's probably given up less than 3 runs. So now they get a bounce out to short. So they go 3 up and 3 down in the second. It's 1-0 Reds going to the top of the third. But I start with some question marks. Like Chapman's in the bank, Bailey defensively is in the bank, outside Walker I think is in the bank, and there's a number of guys like that. But then I start getting nervous. Like you said, Fitzgerald at second base. He hit 8 home runs in July last year, was absolutely incredible, and had 15 of his RBIs that month. And then the rest of the year he had 7 home runs, and he had 20 RBIs or whatever the rest of the time. So is he for real? I can't wait to see Jung Hoo Lee on a regular basis. I'm not going to base him on his first at bat. That looked like a pretty ugly at bat, but they've moved him where he should be, where he was in Korea in the 3-hole. He's not a leadoff hitter. He doesn't get on base. He doesn't steal bases. So things like that, hoping that, like you said, when it comes to Ramos, that he's the first half guy, not the second half guy. So usually, like in 2021, all the ifs went, they all worked. Usually what happens is your ifs go about 50-50, which means you're like an 80 and 82 baseball team. So I'm with you in that they've got some guys in this team that I think could be difference makers. Like to you were down at spring training. Do you believe in Justin Verlander coming off a neck injury, who's at 42 years old, to be the number 2 starter on this team? Because what's amazing is that Logan Webb threw 204 innings last year, which was 3rd in baseball. The Giants as a staff threw the 2nd least innings from starters in the league. How is that even possible when one of your guys throws 204 innings? Kyle Harrison had to be the 2 last year. They didn't get any consistency from anybody else on the staff, whether it be Hicks, who got tired, Snell, who sucked early, whatever. Harrison was up and down. They didn't get any consistency after Webb. And to me, when you're pitching in this ballpark when you're playing in this ballpark that they're playing in, not the Great American Small Park today, but when they're playing in the park they're playing in at home, it starts with pitching. And if their starting pitching isn't like top 10 in baseball, then they can't compete because their offense isn't going to be anything special, but their their pitching should be, right? I mean, that's where it starts.
I mean, Webb's obviously a good one. I don't think Verlander's the 2. I think Robbie Ray's the 2, and Robbie Ray had a really good spring. And I do think Verlander could have a career renaissance year here. I think he could win 12 to 15 games for the Giants in the National League in this ballpark. He doesn't beat himself. He looks healthy. It's a great pitcher's yard, good defense. I think there's a very good chance that Verlander could have a good year. You also have Roop, who's just been ridiculously good this spring, and Birdsong was throwing 98 and looks great, and he didn't even make the rotation because you got Jordan Hicks. So, I mean, there's 6 deep right there in the rotation, and you still have Kyle Harrison at AAA, and he'll get it going. He just didn't have it going early in spring. You have Joey Lucchesi, you still have Sean Jelly, you have Tristan Beck, you have Carson Wisenhunt, Carson Ragsdale, Carson Seymour. I mean, they got some pitching depth, I think, and I think Birdsong, Roop, Verlander, Ray, and Webb can be a good rotation. I really do. Fly ball out to right field, out.
Yeah, Wilmer's a big. Wilmer just flew out to center, right center, but he's big because with Encarnacion out for a while, and they can rotate their. I love rotating the DH. I hated that they signed Soler last year, not because he was non-productive, but because I like giving guys day off, and that's why I would have liked to have had like an Alex Bregman at second base, and then you can use Fitzgerald as a super U. That's why I look at a guy like Casey Schmidt if his bat could ever come around. He's an above-average defender at short second, third. You could play him as a super U, give guys days off, things like that. That's what I like using the designated hitter for. So, we'll see what Flores does with Encarnacion out for a while. But if I'm Bob Melvin, if I'm the Giants, I'm not going to have a long rope on Wilmer Flores. 2 years ago, 23 home runs. Last year, 4, and was really a liability. And he doesn't give you anything. He can't play defense, can't run, can't do anything like that. You got to watch Flores carefully because if not, then I got to maybe bring up a Casey Schmidt. He's my super U, or do something like that where I can be creative and give guys days off. Especially like a Patrick Bailey who tends to get tired, or a Adames at a demanding position. I'm not really going to take Chapman out of the lineup a heck of a lot, but I like using the DH.
Hey, there we go. Yes,
finally
the single to center.
All right,
there you go.
Very nice. All right, here's to opening day. Here's to the first hit of the season.
First hit of the season, one out in the third. Clean screamer by Mike Yastrzemski.
Salute to everybody. Oh yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. By the way, I got a hot dog over here. It's getting cold. I got to eat it. Opening day hot dog. Opening day dog. Got to do that.
Woo. There we go.
You weren't messing around with that one.
What's that?
You weren't messing around with that one. You took that down. All right, here's a big key, too. Fitzgerald, massive key to the season.
I'm not planning on a lot of offense.
So you're taking him down when you can?
I'm afraid to pace myself with this club.
Watch, all of a sudden in one of the innings, it's going to go crazy. You're going to be hammered. You're going to fall off the stool.
Can I make
finish this? What am I thinking?
Can I make it to the 9th? The Reds' pen will be my undoing.
That would be hilarious if you went. We're not going to get anything out of it. I was going to start getting at it.
T-Flow's like Krueg seized his top. I did put the chat the video chat. If you guys want to jump in via video calls, we can do that as well. I put the invite, and I'll do it again here. I'll put the invite in the chat.
Nice. I got a cooler here, so I got a bunch of cold beers that
if anybody else wants to join us, feel free to talk a little Giants ball or whatever. We can talk Niners draft if you want. We can talk whatever.
I know you're dying. You're dying.
I mean, I talk Niners draft all the time anyway. So.
You're like, come on, somebody give me a question. Oh, there we go. Nice ice cold one. Very nice. Straight out of the cooler.
Fitzgerald just struck out.
Yeah,
he had a bad spring too. That is a good point. He might not be legit because I've asked people if he's legit. The people who think he is legit, think he's like a 20-20 short second baseman.
Well, what was he? He was 17. What did he hit? 15 home runs? So he was 15 home runs, 17 steals last year. So not too far off.
Yeah. But
I
baseman would be pretty valuable.
Krug, I think he's massively important because if you think about it, if he's not good
real or not,
then what do you do at second base? And like I said, Boston ultimately signed, I know we can't go backwards, but Boston ultimately signed Alex Bregman. They did some deferred money, which I think is a brilliant idea, but the Giants apparently don't want to do that. But if you had, put Bregman at second, there's another winner in your clubhouse, kind of like a Chapman guy. He's a bit of a red ass. He's won. And then Tyler Fitzgerald can go back to being a super U, and he can play second, short, third, center. Then you get an opportunity to move those guys. Like Jung Hoo Lee's coming back from a major injury, and he's a great defensive center fielder, but at times he's going to need some time off. I'd love it if Fitzgerald could go out there, and then Jung Hoo Lee gets a day off or can DH. But that's not the way they're going to do it.
With Jung Hoo banged up, it looks like back to the backstop, but they're going to second, and he's safe.
Nice.
So look at that. Yaz still moves well.
Ooh, he got a good. That was a hell of a bounce.
That was a ridiculous bounce.
Man, he got lucky.
That was like it hit the backstop and came right back to the catcher
like a
ricochet. Breakneck speed, like a ricochet, and then he threw right to second, and Yaz still beat it. Surfbone says,
all right, so we got 1 and 2, and we got 2 out. We got runners in scoring position. Let's go. They hit 233 with runners in scoring position last year. Did the Giants? Come on, man. See, this is where I like Lamont Wade Jr. I really do. But the on-base percentage right now with the guy at second with 2 outs does nothing for me. Like, everyone's like, oh, he gets on base. He gets on base.
Well, if he moves the line.
But you need a hit right now.
99,
like right now, it's,
four-seamer, 99, blew him away.
Yeah. See, you needed a hit right there. And it's like you getting on base is tremendous. But anyway, what is that? 6 strikeouts through 3 innings for him?
1-0 Reds going to bottom 3 in Cincinnati. Well,
at least we got a base runner in scoring position. Do we chug? Is Surf saying that we chug for a runner in scoring position now?
I just chugged for the first hit. So my next chug will come with either a web gem of extraordinary proportions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
guess that's where we are. Hunter Green's pretty good. Let's be honest. Let's not be down on the Giants. Hunter Green's pretty good.
I'll also. How about this? We're also going to, we'll do if we get a certain number of supers. If John and I can get how many what number you want to put out there? Normally Kev will put this out there for us, but how many supers to chug an entire beer on camera? Want to go 50 supers?
Sure.
If we get to 50 supers, we'll chug a full beer as well.
I need to buy a beer bong for this show.
Or a small glass.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I only have the pint glass and the full beer.
You got peanuts going. You got dogs.
Bro, I did it all.
Or boiled?
No, I barbecued for sure, 100%. I got popcorn here.
Look at that.
I got these barbecue pretzels. I got real peanuts. Bag. Come on, man. We can't mess around.
My wife got me.
It's opening day.
It's
opening day. Dude, listen, my wife, same thing. She would have. She went to Palm Springs today, and she's always
Palm Springs.
Yeah, so she's always like diet. I'm like, yeah. The minute she leaves, I went out to about a half hour before the show and got all the baseball stuff. In fact, the guy at Safeway was like, "Oh, it's opening day." I go, "Damn right it is. Let's go. Like, quit messing around. I got to go." It's like a half hour before the show started. I went out and because she left. I was like, "Cool." I went and got all the baseball accompaniments, and but we have one of those garage fridges. So we have a garage fridge full of about 20 different kind of beers, and we're not getting paid yet. But Corona does this like it's a citrus beer, pretty good, especially when it's ice cold. I drag my cooler in here. My dog's even looking at me. My dog just stares at my wife.
Tons of people are going to recognize you. Oh, you're in the gap? No, line drive to left, base hit. Ramos keeps him as a single. So Friedel with a leadoff single here, bottom 3, Reds up 1-0 against
Friedel's
my
going with
his better client, Logan Webb.
Friedel's going with the old school Pete Rose black cleats, just straight black cleats with nothing on them. Because that's like a throwback thing. The Reds have some athletes. The Reds have some athletes, man.
We got a couple supers coming in here. Mike Val, we should just get one of those popcorn bats. There we go. Long drive to center. Jung Hoo makes the catch on the track. I wouldn't call it a web gem, though. Just
that's
a can of corn.
Yeah, definitely a can of corn. What did you say you would do if he
full slam beer for a web gem? We'll slam it. I'll slam another beer.
Really? Will you really?
Yeah, for a web gem or a home. I'm only slamming today for web gems, home runs, seventh inning stretch,
and supers.
And well, when we get to 50 supers, and we're at 2 right now. Tyler 92 says chug.
That was not a web gem, Tyler 92. That was not a web gem. That was a nice catch. See, now this is a huge.
We're 48 away.
Yeah,
48 supers away from the chug.
This is a huge at bat now because you're down 1-0. Hunter Green's putting it together.
Elly De La
Cruz is up. Guy on first. You're not going to double him up. He hits from the left side and he's super fast, but you got to do something here. You need, strikeout would be really nice right here because
he's got him. What would you say? 0-2.
Mm-hmm. And they look offensively challenged. They look offensively challenged against Hunter Green today, so you're not going to want to give up many runs here.
Do you like the netting, by the way? Do people like the netting?
No. I'd rather get hit. I'd rather just be looking at my phone and get hit and take the chance. I love the old days, man. It's like, look, I'm sitting at a ballpark. The ball comes through. I was paying attention. I'm sorry that you have to stare at your phone.
And it's down. Ramos throws to third. We got first and second.
Dang. You might be right on De La Cruz. That dude has a great swing.
He's awesome.
That is a great inside-out swing.
He's taking off 9 pads. He's putting on his pancake glove. He's ridiculous.
Seriously. And he looks like it's Easter. He's got like the bright green gloves.
Right behind the first base coaching box, there should be a little dressing room.
That's a good point.
Look at that. What the hell is that? Now he's got another thing he's putting on. He's got 2 gloves.
And they're all bright. He likes bright colors.
He's got to do it with his mouth. That's all.
The other thing is
his fingers.
His coach has to help him. Like he takes all his other stuff out, and then his coach has to help him with all the stuff.
A guy that athletic can't somehow get around the bases without hurting his fingers.
Maybe somebody steps on his hand.
Willie Mays didn't need that. Hank Aaron didn't need that.
Somebody has to be for the cool factor.
That looks silly. Double gloves. Look at this thing. Like this. I've got double gloves. But it's like if you ask people, would you rather wear gloves or mittens?
Oh, gloves.
Everybody would rather wear gloves.
Mittens drive you crazy.
Wear mittens. That's what these guys are wearing. They're wearing mittens.
Mittens drive you 100% crazy because the thing is, like, let's say you're skiing, like they're useless. Mittens are useless. You got to wear like gloves.
Mitten for?
Yeah, mittens are not manly either. So what do you got there on your hands, sir? I have mittens. You have mittens? What the hell's mittens?
Come on.
Put on a glove,
Men wear gloves.
Exactly. Men wear gloves. Mittens are warmer.
Drive up the middle. Oh, look at that. Big time play at first, safe at first. The Giants get no outs, bags loaded. There was a hard grounder up the middle.
Oh.
The mitten man was going from first to second. Those are crazy. Look at him.
Okay, he's so fast that you can't get to second, but you got to get an out there somehow. Is that Tyler
Willie Adames fields the ball, but he can't get back to the bag, and then he throws late to first.
Yeah, that hurts.
Where's Crawford? No, can you imagine?
Yeah, you got to touch. You could. He could have still beaten him to the bag.
We got a third one here. Laine Kern.
Oh, that's my wife.
Talk about your beautiful wife.
You got to pay me more than that.
Line drive to right. Oh, here comes a run. Here comes a second run. We'll play at third. He's out.
Wait, Logan Webb
out at third.
Logan Webb does not have
3-0 Reds, and the mittens are back in the dugout. De La Cruz scores. He can't even. De La Cruz scored
correctly. 2. He scored 2 of their 3 runs. De La Cruz.
Dude, I'm telling you, De La Cruz.
And Logan Webb is not fooling anybody.
He's gonna need a good financial guy.
Seriously. This financial guy's bad luck. 3-0, 2 outs in the third. Man. That's not good. Logan Webb is not. So I'm looking at this.
This guys there to talk him up after.
Yeah.
Talk him up, hey, dude, look, don't worry about it. Look, do you realize what you're making right now and how much you're saving? You're set.
That's a hell of a smart play by Yastrzemski, though, to get an out at third base. I mean, that's big. But he's just, I don't know what it is about Logan Webb, but he's not fooling anybody.
Yeah, Elly is so fast.
Yeah.
JC.
Yeah,
Crusher says R.I.P. Giants.
No, see, he gets a fine. A Crusher. That's a $2 fine.
Crusher.
That's a $2. That's what we said. We said that there would be no
Crusher.
It's day one.
Putting it in the jar.
And negative was a swear jar. So you owe. I mean, we said no, even if it was that.
Larry, we need to bet against the Giants this season. Oh,
and see, it's already starting.
Oh, here we go. The Avalanche.
It's already starting.
3 lousy runs.
Okay, that's a swear jar. Come on, man. It's opening day.
That guy. Sit down. Who was that? He just struck out somebody.
Steer.
Sit down, Steer. All right, 3-0.
So mad.
3-0 going to the top of the fourth, but I feel the bat's starting to warm up.
A lot of time left. Let's go.
A lot of time left.
People already got to throw into the swear jar. Let's go. Said we were going to be positive today. It's opening day. Stop it.
Positive. We're going to be positive, but this is only going to be a weekly show, so we don't.
You're clearly not drinking enough because the beer is helping. Tell you right there. Hot dog is helping. Beer is helping.
Kyle McKiernan, Larry Lampkin, and Mr. Mute Show. Nothing like it. Oh man.
Oh, here's the Mr. Mute story. So, hang on. So this morning I'm doing a show, right? And I'm setting everything up, and I got a chalkboard, and I hadn't looked at the chat line yet. And you know how it is, because for people who don't know, when you're putting something on the board, you got to look for it. You can't have the chat up at the same time you're looking for something to put on the board, so you're not looking at the chat. So for the first 8 or 10 minutes of the show, I had a thing that I had written. So I was showing my website and I was talking about this Giants preview I'd written. So I didn't look at the chat line for probably the first, 8 minutes of the show. And you know how this because obviously you've done this for so long. There's a tiny, tiny microphone in the corner. And if there's a little slash through it, it means you're muted. Well, I've never muted my microphone before. So all of a sudden it was muted and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking. And all of a sudden, I popped to the chat line, and everybody is like, your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. For the first, 8 minutes of the show, they didn't hear a damn thing I said. And I set the whole show up, and then I went to the chat line to say, good morning, everybody. And they're like, you dumbass. And so,
oh, wow.
So then, of course, after the show, I'm like, I'm not letting that get out. So then I had to go back to YouTube and all the other places that I have the dumb video, and I gotta take the first 8 minutes of the show out because I don't want anybody to see that I'm so stupid. Yeah, that was today's show. That's today's show.
Done that.
So they're calling me Mr. Mute, which is absolutely appropriate, man. I was like, I can't even believe it. Seriously, I looked and I'm like, how is it possible? You're muted. And I look, and it's got this tiny ass little microphone, and it's got this tiny little line through. It's like, I can't see that.
Kyle McKiernan. He's got charts and graphs and giant.
No, he's right.
Dude, you're right. Muted. LOL.
He's 100% right. And shouldn't there be some big thing on your screen that says muted? Or God, it's just this tiny ass thing. It looks like a tiny ant.
It should be a gigantic X over your screen.
Like nobody can hear you. Like, how's this possible? If I didn't have a chat line, if I was recording something, I would have done the whole show with it muted.
Oh.
Okay, Jung Hoo Lee's up. Let's go.
Jung Hoo, 98 4-seamer.
Struck out first time up.
Strike one. Gosh.
Come on, dude.
Hunter Green's just nasty.
Dude, yeah. Let's move on from this dude.
Hunter Green. He's throwing smoke.
Yeah.
Threw one to the backstop right there. 1-1.
Come on, Jung Hoo. Give him a little hope here. It's a 3-hole hitter.
Giants paid Jung Hoo Lee $119 million. Or 100.
Yeah, that's not good.
$113 million. 6 years, 113.
Right?
$19 million a year. $19 million a year for 5 more years of Jung Hoo. Oh.
You're on the brink. I can see you. You're on the brink.
Seriously. This guy better be good. This guy better be good. It's one of the worst signings in the history of the world.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
$19 million for Jung Hoo. He better be. People are like, he's going to be great. He's going to be able to win a batting title. And what? Is he going to hit 10 home runs? Is he going to steal 10 bases? He just walked.
All right, that'll work. He doesn't walk very much. That'll work. All right. We'll take that. I'll take a drink for that. I won't chug a beer for that.
I won't. How about this? The first run of the year. It doesn't matter how they get it.
We've got to chug a beer.
I'll chug. I'm starting to pour because I'm starting to pour.
Because what?
Getting it warmed up here.
All right.
Or a webcam, or just something really spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have.
We'll both chug one at 50 here. We'll both chug one at 50.
Though I gotta say, Jung Hoo seems like a weak 3-hole hitter. Is he not? All right, here we go. We got this one. Daniel S. Light, the green beam, go A's.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna go up to. You know what
is SH?
Yeah.
$2 for the swear jar.
There you go. Yeah, okay, that's fair. See, he gets it. He's saying the Giants suck. Here's my $2.
$2.
Yeah, that's what you have to do if you want to be negative on opening day. That's what you have to do. You can be
negative on opening day, but it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you. It's no big deal.
A couple ducats.
By the way, I know Daniel, and he's up in SAC, and he's a Kings guy and everything. I am going to go up to Sutter Health Ballpark and watch the A's one day, just because I saw that John Shea took a picture. And it was an amazing picture. And he's, the exhibition game up there or whatever. And it was really cool looking. But still, and the sun's going down. And I mean, still, it's a minor league park. It's a minor league park, man. And what can you do?
We're welcoming in the mayor of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Our man Hutch, who normally comes at us speaking in hushed tones because his wife is sleeping in the next room. John, this guy, the first time he called us, he's like, we're all talking like this. And
my wife.
He's like, I think the Giants probably are not going to be great this year. And the reason is, and I'm like, hey, why are you talking like that? Well, my wife is sleeping in the next room.
I was also very high that night too, Larry.
He was also very high. He was also very high.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, we've got you on first. We're still looking for our first run of the year, Hutch. How do you feel about the year? How are you feeling about the year?
Come from home run. Home run.
Yeah. I mean, what are you predicting, Hutch? I mean, you're a Giants guy. What kind of year do you predict here?
Probably the same as the last couple of years. Probably very mediocre. There might be some surprises, but I don't expect them to go out because from all the calls that keep coming, they're trying to cut payroll and stay under the salary cap. So I don't expect them to be very competitive. We'll see. Depends on that. I did hear that the ownership sold 10% of the team. So who knows what future
which they're going to use, by the way. They're saying they're going to use that for suites and for the front of the stadium and to fix Willie Mays Plaza, which always makes the baseball team a lot better. When the suites are better and Willie Mays Plaza looks a lot nicer. So it's very nice for the team.
Yeah, to me, the plaza has been the reason that they haven't won.
Exactly. Got to fix the plaza. It's not acceptable.
I think the team's they've been a juggernaut. If it wasn't for the plaza,
and my suite needs upgrading. Those couches are very uncomfortable.
The suite's been the downfall of the organization. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I like how you're doing this. You're avoiding a swear jar hit right here. It's very nice. Suites, I like how you're doing it.
I like how you're doing it. Shameful. The play on the field? The play on the field's been amazing. Are you kidding me? But the suites, I mean, they're unsightly. It's just awful.
Yeah, that's what they said. They're selling.
Sorry for those corporate people.
They're selling 10%. They're going to get about $480 million. And Larry Bear came out and said it's going to be on Willie Mays Plaza and to upgrade the suites. And I was like, excellent. Let's not move the fences in anymore. Let's not get some better facilities in the Dominican or something like that, or let's nothing.
We don't need
a
right fielder. We need some bonehead vice president from Salesforce to have his ass more comfortable.
We're only in the fourth inning. Stop it. 3-2 count. Go on.
Almost had a positive throwaway there. That could have led to a drink.
That would have been nice. Jung Hoo Lee on first base, by the way. Elliot
Ramos.
The most
exciting thing about the San Francisco Giants season is going to be the Larry rage rants about the Giants.
They'll come in the middle of a very positive live stream otherwise.
Yeah,
it was an incredibly positive live stream, except for that 1/6 inning episode.
Oh, exactly. Oh,
Mike
man.
Val says, Larry, you kill me. For a price, Mike. For a price. Oh, no.
Yes.
It's a different movie. Elliot Ramos coming up. I'll tell you, you know what? I kind of, this is the one guy that to me is why I watch. If you say, why are you watching? You know, I'm watching because of Elliot Ramos. That's why. Yeah. Because he's that fun to watch. He's that powerful, that strong, that fast, that good of an arm. And he just hit one deep to right. Get up, get out of here. Oh, yeah.
See, look how everything changes. Yes. Look how quickly everything changes. He barely got that out of here. Who cares? 3-2. See? Get up, get on, get him in. That's what happened.
I watch.
Jung Hoo Lee walks. Ramos barely goes. He goes Oppo Taco to right. Oh, he's trash talking around third, too. He's trash talking around third.
Woo!
See, 3-2. What about now? How about everybody now?
Yes.
3-2. Chug, chug, chug. Come on, people. All right. Here's to Elliot Ramos, 3-2. You can chug water. It's okay. We'll pass you for now. I see you're in your car. You get a pass for that.
In Tennessee right now, too. It's warm.
Oh, that's good. Whereabouts? How warm is it in Tennessee, man? We need some good weather. We're getting rain in the Bay Area, man.
Right we actually have some spring weather. It's like low 70s, but give it a month or so, and it'll be 80s every day. And then May, June, July, it'll be 90s and humid and bugs and.
Crazy. That was big.
That was huge. Big. That's your guy. That's your guy, Ramos, right? Goes Oppo Taco, so it's 3-2, top of the fourth, right back in it. So what about all that negative stuff now, huh? Larry Bear's going to be next on the show.
Mike Val is now giving me instructions here. Hold on.
Says, if Ramos can hit 60, maybe.
Exactly, right? Hell, if he can break the string of 30, right? I mean, my God.
Jeez.
Mike Val says, Larry, you kill me. Okay, is that the one he's
Larry,
talking about?
Kill me what?
He said Ramos just got nut checked. Green throws a strike. It's going to be out of the yard. Look at that.
Did he say that really before it happened?
Mike Val at 203 said Ramos just got nut checked. Green throws a strike. It's going out of the yard.
Way to go. Wow. What a call there. Nice, Mike. Very well played. That's really cool how you can do that. Huh?
What happened to the mayor? Did he just drop off?
I think I hear him, but we were
I'm here.
Technical. Yeah, he's there.
What
we
happened?
Just couldn't see him there.
Where are you, Mayor?
I'm right here.
Your camera died.
You don't see me?
No. Well, unless you've changed quite a bit.
Unless it just got dark there just a minute.
On my screen,
must have gotten dark.
Showing.
No. Well, I mean,
I'm reconnect or something.
Yeah, you might want to reconnect.
Oh, hey, either way, I was just stopping.
Okay, Patrick Bailey struck out.
So I gotta get going, but I just
no problem, brother.
Happy Giants season, and looking forward to all the Ramos home runs.
Yeah, happy opening day, man.
Hutch, have a great one, man. Appreciate you, brother. There we go.
All right, so middle of the fourth, 3-2, back in it. Back in it, 3-2. Give it to Ramos. So you had Jung Hoo Lee with a good at bat from the 3-hole. He walks. Hunter Green had been dominating, but then you go Oppo Taco, barely gets out over the right field fence, but we'll take it. It's 3-2 going to the bottom of the fourth.
Is Lund drinking a wine cooler?
No, these are. I always wanted to try these out.
Bartles and James wine coolers.
It's a Corona, but it's a citrus flavored Corona, and it actually is a very tasty beverage.
Really,
got to say, yeah, citrus cerveza by Corona. It's very nice, very light.
Only sold in Danville, by the way. I don't think it's.
Well, I knew that I just had a feeling in the Great American Small Park that some balls might be flying out of the yard, and we're halfway through, so who knows? And Hunter Green is solid, and Logan Webb hopefully settles down because now it's a 3-2 game. And okay, so you've not pitched so well to this point, but come on, bro. So, he tightens it up a little bit. We got ourselves a ball game. So I thought, Great American Small Park, balls will be flying out of the yard. I brought some light beer with me today. But I have others. I got a whole cooler here. I got others. If this Corona, if it offends people, I got more.
I started off with the Heineken because it's it's light, but it's quality. But then I went to the store the other day because I'm like I'm gonna need more than one beer, honey. Come on. And so I went in there, and sure enough, it was I was looking at all the canned beers, and I'm like, I got a couple of Sierra Nevada talls.
Oh,
so it's hard to chug Sierra Nevada, but I got
some Stella cans in here. I got a bunch of different things.
I'm gonna give it a go. And I'm gonna give it a 100%.
Whole cooler here.
But Mike Val said Larry read my comment prior to that out loud. Look at Mike Val. Sven's in the house. He says, we're alive. We don't suck. We don't suck.
We're gonna suck again. Yeah, that's good.
Look at that. We're back in this game. It's 3-2. Encarnacion Strand leading off the bottom of 4 against Logan Webb.
College Park High School.
And he lines. Oh, did he really go to College Park High School?
He went to College Park, yeah.
Really?
Yep. Right up probably 3-4 miles from you.
College Park, they had their walk-up
just a few miles from you.
And when they played at home and they would play their walk-up music, they were a much better offensive team than when they played on the road and they didn't make their walk-up music. But Sven, we're alive. We don't suck. Thank you, Sven. And we got the we're now 6 supers towards our chugging goal of 50. 50 supers. We'll chug a whole beer for 60 or for 50.
Plus, I'll go to my garage fridge and pull out a couple of nice beers for that. You get to do a nice chug. Although I'm like you said, me and you were talking about this last night. I'm not pulling out a bunch of 10% double IPAs here. Okay, I do that. We're gonna be on our face by the 6th inning.
Yeah.
So there's a method to the madness here. Is that I know that I've got better beers than that, and I'm not holding out on people. It's just I'm not going to suck down 8 and 10% IPAs. I'm not going to do chugs on those.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just totally cheap, but these Coronas are nice and light.
Droopy.
Easy to drink, easy to chug.
Thanks for the advice. Look at Droopy. Smoke a J. Thank you, Droopy.
I have some gummies in the drawer, but they're really strong. So I'm not going to do that either. Those are really strong. So I'll hold on for those.
Kyle McKiernan says Sierra Nevada brewed 10 minutes from where I'm sitting.
Very nice.
Francis Berry, canned beer sucks. What?
It depends. It depends.
I love beer in a can. Are you kidding me?
I mean, if you're at the ballpark,
I'll tell you what sucks is bad beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Bad beer sucks. Like, what's the worst beer of all time?
Oh God, I can tell you a million of them because in college. And this is going to date me a little bit, but that's what you did. You just went to the store and you'd go, okay, what's
2
on
one
sale?
Out, by the way, walk by Webb in the 4th.
Yeah.
Going to they're looking.
Right, 3-2
right
Reds
now, warming up the pen.
3-2 Reds in the 4th, and Elliot Ramos just hit a Oppo Taco to make it 3-2, and the Reds are batting in the bottom of the 4th.
Randy Rodriguez warming up the right arm in the pen.
I like him, but he makes me a little nervous. I mean, if he can,
stuff is nasty.
If he can figure out where it's going. He's got a little nuke lelouch to him. But when we were in college, I don't think this company is still around, but they used to sell not 12 and 24 packs, but they used to sell 15 and 30 packs of Strohs. And I mean, bro,
remember Alex the dog?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. They used to sell 30 packs of those things for like $7.99. And we were just like, we're all over that. They used to call it Fire Brewed. And we're like, whatever,
when I was a freshman in college, we had the
$8.
The Coors Light party ball.
Oh, those are the best.
Do you remember the Coors Light party ball?
Because then afterwards you drink the thing and then you kick the thing around for a while when you were hammered. Those were funny.
It was like a mini keg.
Yeah, it had its own little keg to it. And you pumped it, and it was like a big plastic ball of beer. Yeah. It was incredible,
awesome, man. The Coors Light party ball was. I mean, that's a lot.
I think it was. I think a keg is 15 gallons or something like that. Yeah. So this thing was like maybe like a third or something like that, or maybe whatever it was, a fourth, whatever it was. But those things were cool because they had their own little
ground ball second
thing.
4-6-3 double play. There we go.
Yeah, that deserves a drink. It's not a chug.
That was big. That's big,
man. Really big. All right. So there you go. 3-2, top of 5. It's a ball game. Logan Webb settling in a little bit. There we go. Giants only have 2 hits, but that's all right. Mike Yastrzemski singled to right, and Elliot Ramos with a wall scraper oppo taco. But
Nice.
We'll take that. We will take that, man.
What did you we got another one here. We got our super number 7. Cleveland's slowest. Larry, if you need to kill a few minutes between innings, you can always riff on the great Deerfield Academy. Go Big Green. Shout out Pacifica. Go Giants. Deerfield Academy was where the Stanford wide receiver that the Niners are supposedly sniffing around.
The big kid. Ellick is his name?
Yeah, Ellick. Ellick went to Deerfield.
Did you really?
That made me laugh. That made me laugh because it's like, I went to Exeter. I went to, Deerfield. I'm in some prep school.
Some like high-end thing?
Well, I mean, it's a prep school in Mass. It probably costs like $100,000 a year to go to.
Oh, man.
It just reeks of the elite of the elite, I went to a great high school. Oh, really? I went to Exeter. Oh. I went to Deerfield Academy. Thank you.
My parents were not going to pay for me to get C's.
Every day I wore a blazer. Mm-hmm.
How bad would that
Yes.
be? I could barely get out of bed throwing some shorts and a T-shirt to go to high school. Remember,
wearing a blazer to high school every day?
Your slacks are not pressed. They don't have a crease in them. Like, are you kidding?
Where's the pleats? I don't see the pleats.
The pleats and the pants. Don't act like you're not impressed. Give me a break. Yeah, can you imagine? I could not. There's no way. No way.
Sven is in the house. If Janty falls to 11.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking Larry's question. Now you're talking Larry's language.
Ow. I mean, this baseball game can be
look at the
goddamn rumor here in a second.
Don't you see? Look what you just started. You just started this. Here we go. See, now he just clicked it over to draft mode.
Pop up.
Yeah, come on. See,
Genty,
Flores. I'm not going to be
negative.
but come on, Flores. It's not a start. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, somebody asked a draft question. I know. I'm sorry to interrupt that.
J49 bullied at Deerfield during tennis.
You are clearly not Deerfield material.
I was sitting on the Chesterfield when somebody approached me and said they were going to bully me.
I'm going to bully you at this tennis match.
You will be bullied here. No, there will be no bullying here, Deerfield.
All right. Yaz had a single last time. I want you to talk Genty, but just saying, Yaz is up. 1 out. Nice pop up by Flores. I'm losing patience, but I'm not going to talk negatively.
I was going to say, I love
Yaz
Genty.
up right now.
Genty's pretty badass. I mean, normally in the draft, I would be like, oh man, go after a guy like Genty. But I just think that the value isn't there when you look at this draft. I mean, you can't go running back in the first round. There's just too many great players, and there's too many great running backs. I'll tell you, there's this kid that there's a couple guys that are just, the more I watch, the more I'm like, oh my God, look at that guy. And there's a few of them here. I mean, there's several really good running backs. Oh, base hit to left for Yaz.
Hey, he's 2 for 2. 1 to right, 1 to left.
A little 1 out knock the other way. Giants have ducks on the pond.
Let's
Top
go.
5. 1
Down
run
3-2.
I just love the running backs in this draft. Jaden Blue, Kyle Monangi, Montrell Johnson, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Love him. Taj Brooks. Love him. Raheem Sanders. But I'll tell you, there's a couple guys that I think are just super special. One is this kid, RJ Harvey from Central Florida, who the Niners have met with. He's 5'8", about 210 pounds. So I'm thinking about that, 5'8", 210. It's kind of a bowling ball type of a back. So he's really incredible. He's got 4.4 speed. He's really fun to watch. But there's this other guy named Brashard Smith from SMU who's, forgettable size, right? 5'10", 195 pounds. He might be more, he's a running back, but you might, for a team like the Niners, I think it's Tyler Fitzgerald going deep. Oh, no. Fly out center field. Sorry. Thought we had some action there. Thought it was 4-3 Giants.
Well, when he swung it, look, the way he kind of reacted to it himself, it looked like it was going somewhere, but then he just kind of died out there.
Yeah, it died.
So we got 2 out. Yaz on first, down 3-2, top of 5.
But Brashard Smith from SMU, the running back, who can be used as a receiver, this dude, you got to go watch this guy. He's listed as number 150th overall in the draft, so that means he's probably going to be like a fourth round pick. Maybe a fly out to left. Giants do nothing in the 5th. 3-2 going bottom 5.
See, that's weird with Lamont Wade. It's like you're a guy who works counts, and then the first pitch you see, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, wasted opportunity. You need runners.
Exactly.
But this Brashard Smith from SMU is so explosive and so dangerous. Like, you just lost Debo. You're not going to have Ayuk. You got to get creative. The Niners have to find some star contributors like on day 3. And how are you going to find star contributors? If you can find the electric running back or receiver that nobody else really thinks is that good, that steps in and becomes awesome. And Brashard Smith, I think, is that guy. He's 5'10", 195 pounds, but he's explosively fast. And since he is a running back, he's got receiving ability. He can really catch the ball. But because he is a running back, he does run with some strength and some power that, even though he's 5'10", 195, he's not like Cowing, who's 5'9", 170, and he's really weak. He's more like he can run through arm tackles. So anyway, a guy like Brashard Smith, who runs in the 4.3s on day 3 of the draft as a running back / return man / receiver. Remember that name, because he's an electric player.
I don't know that they give him forward. I mean, you and I talk about value versus positional need and all those kind of things. Clearly, by the fact that they traded Jordan Mason, and again, if you're tuning in for the baseball game, 3-2 Reds going to the bottom of the 5th, bottom of 4th. Bottom. Anyway, that's 3-2 as we are at the Great American Small Park, and welcome to opening day. But I don't know that they can go running back. And the fact that they traded Jordan Mason to Minnesota, which I think is a massive mistake, but they must believe that Christian McCaffrey is okay. And I'm sure they have some sort of confidence on Guardado, even though I think that Guarendo, the issue with him becomes he's very inexperienced. But the reality is that I think that they have some confidence in him, or they wouldn't have traded Mason. So then you're looking at possibly a third running back. I don't think they have the luxury to take a third running back, and they're really good at picking up free agent guys. So I think it's not that I don't think they'll add a running back at some point. It would either be late in the draft to me, or as a free agent, which they've done a really nice job with, certainly better than the early round draft picks that they've taken, as you and I have talked about a lot, as far as Kyle and John are concerned, because they have so many damn needs, as you and I have talked about, that I just think running back is so far down on the list, let alone, which the original question was something about Genty, who I like. And I don't even think like the Raiders are picking at 6, and a lot of people are projecting Genty to the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders can do that. I don't think the Raiders have so many needs. And I know Pete Carroll wants to run the ball, but like you said, there's running backs all over the board. You don't have to take him that high. That's crazy.
Yeah. One thing about Genty is that he is pretty freaking special, as far as he's got, we had a linebacker from Memphis on, and I said, have you gone up against any of the top backs? He said he went against Genty. And he's like, Genty's got a really powerful lower body, as far as he's very hard to bring down. He's a big time player. By the way, here's Elly De La Cruz again.
Yeah, this guy's killing us. He scored 2
1
3
for
runs
1
today.
with a walk.
He's been good.
Webb's at 69 pitches here in the 5th. We'll see how much longer.
But as you can say, he's being really careful with De La Cruz, because he's thinking to himself, it's a 3-2 game. This guy's, like you said, a walk and a hit, but he is, anything you make a mistake on, he's going to make it a 4-2 game. That was a nasty pitch that he just threw him. But he's got to be really careful with him right now. Nobody on base, 1 out. You got to be careful with this guy.
Mark Graves says, is Scatabo an option? Mark, good to see you in Peoria a couple weeks ago. Mark's buddy at Danny's, and we were and is been on our one of our subscribers to our show for a long time. Scatabo is like a celeb, and
I love that guy.
I mean, he's got
my son's tried to like chill with him, like, oh yeah, Scatabo, and like, don't act like you're friends.
Dude, Scatabo is a big deal there. He's like they have this big lift trucks thing in the outfield, and he obviously got a lifted truck. They're showing Buster Posey and Zach Manasian on opening day. It's a new era for Giants baseball. Buster Posey's 38th birthday today.
You can tell Buster's getting pissed too. Look at him; he's all gyrating and all sorts of hand motions. I don't know how long he's up for this thing, man. He's the type of guy that like lives and dies with every game, and he's gonna get pissed. He's just gonna get really pissed. Throwing stuff.
That'd be hilarious. Buster became this like super aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, Mike said the F word. Yeah. See, I like the self-policing. Mike right there. He said I said the F word, so he's put in $2 into the kitty. So again, we got a swear jar around here. You talk negative about the Giants, that's fine, but you gotta throw in. We're not throw in. That's how it is.
We're 9 supers in. We chug.
Yeah, we're not 50. Gonna do it.
We chug.
Yeah, we chug at 50 supers, and if you're negative about the Giants today and they're down 3-2, and we were kind of trending that way until Ramos hit the Oppo Taco. See, there you go. See, yeah,
tacky. Tacky.
Look, he's going crazy. Yeah, swear jar, bro. You got to be cool. This is opening day. Cool.
Kenny Powers, what would you say you do here? That's a great one.
That is a great one.
I used that line, a couple times. Remember Gerald Hodges?
And who's the linebacker? The other guy. He was
Gerald Hodges. He was really bad.
There was another guy though too. Remember?
I'm like, what would you say you do here? What, Devondre Campbell?
Oh, there you go. No, it was another guy. He was before that. I think he went to Georgia. He was terrible. They signed him as a free agent, I think. And you would always say, what would you say you do here? Damn it. It was like maybe when they were really bad, like 17, 18 year. I think he came from Georgia, if I'm wrong. Who the heck was it? I'll look it up. And every time you said it would crack me up. The guy was around, I know, when Kaepernick was taking a knee and all that kind of stuff. Because I remember one time he took a knee next to him.
Actually, Kev says the super chat goal is made for 30 supers. Is a chat.
30?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're 30. We get to 30 supers. So we're at 9 right now. Will we get to 30 supers before the end of the game? Because we will chug. We will chug.
And I'll even go get a different beer because my one beer offended somebody. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go open another one.
Paulie's having a party today. Did you see that? Did you hear about Paulie's party?
Yeah, I was going to go down to the city today, but I knew that it was opening day for you and I, and we wanted to kick this Giant show off. And again, we're going to do it every single Friday, and we'll do it for Giants, home road, whatever. We do it for Giants Fridays and Friday nights with the Giants. So we're going to do it for opening day. Just give it a lift off. So yeah, I'll see those guys soon. But yeah, they're doing him and Creative Tony are doing a great job with us. We're doing a bit and with me and him and Tom, and it's working out well, and they're cool. And so they're down in the city today.
Oh, is Tom down for opening day?
I don't know if Tom's down there, but we've got to have Tom as a guest when we chug beers because Tom has about 5 million beers in his fridge.
Seriously.
But I'll go out in my garage and get a better fridge. But I'm going to have to pop open another one.
A micro brew. I'm also going to have to pop out for 10 minutes in the middle of this because I'm taping a segment with the great JD.
That's all right. I'll hold it down.
You can hold it down for 10 minutes. You've done it before. John,
peanut shells all over my keyboard here.
Right, remember that sports bar Knuckles where you could throw the peanut shells on the ground?
Oh, it's great.
Knuckles.
Knuckles
at the airport.
Beer opener here.
It was in the Hyatt. It was a sports bar in the Hyatt. And they would only thing is that I love peanuts, but I only love peanuts when they're dry roasted. I don't like the salted ones.
Oh, these are the salted in shell.
I mean, that's just
I know, but that's why you have to drink like the beers like this. Like this is an ice cold, just straight out of the cooler. You can even see it. Look, you can even see that right there, the frost on it.
Super number 10 is in. Matthew Waring. He says, cheers, fellas. It's Motto season. He's gonna emerge.
I hope you're right. I really hope he's right. That would be massive. Although I will say, where's he gonna play? I mean, Yaz is 2 for 2 in right now, so you can't complain about him. Ramos has an Apotaka home run. You're not going to put him in center for your good friend Jung Hoo Lee. But, yeah, that would be a great problem to have. I would love to see it. Oh, well, and thank God, Connor Green's out of the game. Thank God.
Seriously.
He's killing us.
Only in today's big leagues would you take out a guy who's dealing like that.
No.
Seriously, that's so big leagues in 2025.
Well, if it's opening day and we have to watch it.
This was 1980. He's back out there for sure. But because
he'd punch the manager right in the face. He'd be like, "What are you talking about? I'm dealing." Like I'm dealing.
This guy they just brought in named Sweeper just threw the most. Barlow is his name. That was a sweeper. I guess they're calling that pitch a sweeper.
And again, I'm not down on anybody, but I think is that 3 strikeouts or 2 for Adames? It's at least 2.
I don't know, but that pitch was nasty. This guy Barlow's nasty.
Let me check.
So they just brought in this lefty Barlow, and a righty, I should say, and he's just his stuff is running all over the place. 87 on the hands, ball 1 to Jung Hoo. Giants down 3-2, top 6, 1 out. Jung Hoo looking to get a board here.
He got a board last time, and then Ramos hit the homer.
He's up 2-0 here. The one thing I like about Jung Hoo is I like the way he plays center field.
Yeah. Oh my God. Last year I didn't realize this. And now he played the first, I don't know, he had 145 at bats. But after he left, after he was out of the lineup, they were a Major League Baseball worst, -24 in defensive runs saved in center field. And that's like Matos trying to play there, Ramos trying to play there, et cetera, Yaz at times. They need his offense, but they need his offense, but they need his defense.
Yeah.
My goodness.
2-2 count for Jung Hoo against Barlow, trying to get a board. Giants needing a base runner. They're down a run here in the 6th, running out of time in this game. And he takes it 3-1. Ooh, that was a good take right on the hands. 85-mile-an-hour slider. Dropped it a little too far inside. Another reliever with long, ridiculous hair. Look at that. Get a haircut.
He was jealous.
Jesus.
Get a haircut, bro.
Oh, Jung Hoo just swung at ball 4.
That's part of his problem. That's why he can't lead off. He's got a lot of swing and miss in his game. That uppercut swing that he has. And the thing that always makes me nervous about him is he has that major uppercut swing, and he's not a big power guy. So he's always lifting the ball, and he doesn't have a great command of the strike zone.
You notice that there's a lot of things he's not?
Yeah, I do.
He's not of this. He's not of that. He's not of this. He's not of that.
He is making $113 million.
$113 million for 6 years, but he's not a power hitter.
He's not. I don't know what he is.
Base guy.
Right. He's not a speed guy. He's not a power guy. He's
not
a good
leadoff
player,
guy.
but I mean, what is he going to be? I mean, what would be a good season for him?
I think it's
280, 75 RBIs
signing.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might be
$113 million for 6 years for a guy that's not a nada.
And
Chapman pops it up in the infield or the outfield. Ellie's
so 3-2 going to the bottom of the 6th.
Giants go down weekly in the 6th.
Does Webb return? They got to bring
Candelario, Steer, and Encarnacion Strand coming up.
They got to bring back. They got to bring back Logan Webb, right?
2 babes in a row. Says Krueg, what do you think about a draft watch party just for the first round? I feel like it would be cool to see and hear your opinion on the non-Niner picks. I'm totally down for it, but I can't do it on first round. It would have to be on day 2 because first round I'm doing the Niner thing this year, or the Cambier thing this year.
That's the best.
I'm back. I'm back doing that thing.
The thing that is so great about that thing is that you go in there and you're right next to the draft room, which is amazing. And they bring you like steaks, and also in fact, I think there was only 1 year, maybe 2 that I didn't do with you. And the whole time, all I could think about, in all honesty, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here, was you. Because you and I would do that thing every single year, and we just had the best time ever. And then John and Kyle would come in and all that stuff. But, I mean, they're bringing you steaks. And really, there was no reason for Holler to be there, but because he produced 49ers games on Sundays during the season, for some reason that made him go down there. And then so he would go down there, and all these people, and then, you sit there and, eat steaks and hang out, and they'd all stop by, and you feel like you're a bit of an insider for reals, only because they don't let anybody else up there, and they actually will, they escort you into the building, and you're literally right next to the draft room. And then there's this big mahogany table and there's this giant TV screen. And then when they make a pick, they come in and they talk to you about it. That's why when Jake Moody was picked, everybody jokes about this. And I was like, no, don't do it. But Kyle came in and he opened the door and we didn't say one damn word to him. And he goes, I didn't want to take a kicker. I wanted to take a running back. And then John Lynch started laughing. And they were telling us off the air, like, it's just something you got to do. And then everybody's like, well, you were negative about Jake Moody. I'm like, I wasn't negative. Kyle Shanahan, I didn't say one stinking word to him. He walked in and goes, I didn't want a kicker. Like right away, I wanted a running back. And I didn't say one word.
By the way, history has recorded that those who were negative were actually in the right because it was a kicker in the 3rd round.
Yeah, you don't do that.
I mean, that's like Al Davis saying, Lane Kiffin didn't like Jamarcus.
Yeah.
That's what Lane Kiffin was clearly incompetent. He didn't like Jamarcus. It's like, Al, who was incompetent?
Exactly.
Yeah,
we got a Randy Rodriguez signing. So Randy Rodriguez in the bottom
nasty,
of the 6th.
Man. Here comes Randy Rodriguez with his 100 miles an hour.
I'm telling you, he could be a huge thing. Like I'm always complaining about. I'd love to see Jordan Hicks in the 7th and not in the rotation. If Randy Rodriguez could find the plate more often, like you said, 3-2 with a 4.30 last year in 52 innings, he could be a nasty 7th inning guy. Because I don't know what it is about it.
Great arm. He's got a great arm.
I want power guys. Yeah, I want power guys out of the pen. So if 8th inning is Duvall and he could find himself, and 9th inning is Walker and he's just straight nasty, and this kid Rodriguez who just entered the game could be competent in finding the zone. I mean, that's a 7, 8, 9 where it's like they're coming out of the pen and they are just throwing bullets. Best of luck. I love teams like that. That old Kansas City team,
was 97 on the hands.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Ball. He called it a ball, though. It was like, my God, dude, that thing was right there, and 97. Boom.
But then he turns around and throws he can throw a nasty slider too.
Yeah.
That kid could be a key to the pen.
This guy's nasty.
Because if he can do this and they can gain confidence in him and he can go 7, Duvall can be good in the 8th and get it to Ryan Walker in the 9th. I mean, that was a nasty at bat. That was just a flat nasty.
Sit down, Candelario.
Yeah, that was a nasty at bat.
He's muttering back to himself.
If this kid could be something, God, there was a lot of break on that pitch.
86 mile an hour slider down the pipe.
Yeah, if this kid could be something,
dude, this kid is nasty.
That would be huge. That would be massive for this team because now all of a sudden you make it a 6-inning game. That's what you want. You want a 6-inning game, and then 7, 8, 9. It's like best of luck. Like that's what you start playing teams, and what starts to happen is teams have to press because they're thinking about the bullpen. Like remember that old Kansas City? It was Herrera in this right. Herrera, Wade Davis, and Greg Holland, and it was just like when the Giants beat them in 14, then they won the World Series in 15. The Royals didn't have good starting pitching.
Wait, who was it? They had.
I think it was the guy. The third guy was Herrera, but it was Wade Davis in the 8th, and it was Greg Holland in the 9th, and I think it was
Kelvin,
and it was Kelvin Herrera, and all of them threw 100. All of them had nasty stuff. And so when you're playing the Royals, you're sitting in your dugout in the 5th inning, and you're going, "Damn, if we don't get something here, they're going to get us at 7, 8, and 9, and the game's over." So they start pressing a little bit, and that's what you want. You want a pen that's just 7, 8, 9. Good night. Good night now. And
Mark Graves says Jed's cutting costs, no stakes this year.
Yeah, you have to tell me because if it's
what if it was like a veggie platter this time?
No, they're not going to cut short on that, man. They know it. They bring in big old ribeyes, and even if you don't like veggies, it's like asparagus and green beans, like really good, and like those really fancy restaurant fingerling potatoes and all those kind of things with like some herbs on them and all that stuff.
Randy Rodriguez strikeout, dude. He is overpowering.
And then Holler eats the giant cookies. They're gone if you don't get one of those real fast. They're the best. They're the best. I mean, they feed you like a king in there. And then it's your element.
You got to go to the bathroom.
You're
going to have to be escorted. You're not trusted.
Yeah, that's it. They started that lately. Like they used to trust us, but the problem is that you walk by the draft room. So if you go outside of the draft where we're able to be, literally right next to us is the John McVay draft room. Next to the John McVay draft room is John Lynch's office. Next to John Lynch's office, there's a bathroom. And so they don't trust us now to walk by the draft room and not like peek in there or like take some kind of a picture of their big board. And they have this sliver of a window. So I guess if you wanted to, you could. But it's like, come on, we're not taking a picture of your draft board, man.
Jack 5'10", ground beef instead.
Hey, Krueg, We're having burgers this year. No buns. We're having burgers.
You get a wrap. You can go with a lettuce wrap.
Yeah, you could go with turkey wrap. But
we're going with a turkey wrap.
And none of those fancy potatoes.
Oh, down the line. Looks like a double. Looks like a double. Getting by Ramos.
Come on, Ramos. You played that very poorly. All right, 2 outs, man on second to 6. They got to keep this thing close.
From the man from College Park.
Yeah.
He likes his music.
I thought that
Man
was
Devil
foul.
says, Krueg, when is the Sharks watch party? Went to the game against the Bruins, and the Shark Tank was electric. Really?
Was it?
What?
I'd go down there and do a party from that bar underneath, that I watched the first period, then I go to that bar, and then I just never emerge from it. And I want to see Macklin Celebrini. I haven't seen him play. So I got to go see Macklin Celebrini play. But that is fun.
I usually go a couple times a year. A couple times a year.
The tank is great, but I just can't get out of that bar. The VIP bar that they have there. It's a big round bar. So you go there between periods, and then what happens a lot of times is if they're not playing well, so I'll go to the first 2 periods, and then that between the second and the third, I'll go to that bar. And if the Sharks aren't playing well, then you just never go out for the third period. You just sit in that bar and watch the game, which is kind of more fun. Anyway. You got to go?
Wait a second. I'm just checking. I've got to tape a thing real quick.
All right.
With JD. Just making sure. See what time.
No worries.
What time has he sent that? Yeah, he just sent that a minute ago, I think. Let's see. So yeah, I'm going to jump out for about 10 minutes, but I'll be back. Sorry to leave you high and dry in the middle of the show.
I think I handle it. I just got a peanut stuck.
What we get this one from Matthew Waring.
Beer.
Cheers, fellas! It's Matos' season. He's going to emerge. I agree.
Look, I hope you're right. I do. I mean, it'd be massive if he could. All right, there we go. Very nice. All right, so Rodriguez gets out of it.
All right, I will jump back in a minute.
All right.
I'll be back in a few.
Krueg. All right.
Sorry
Krug's going to head out for a minute. He will be back momentarily. I'll take you through the the next couple innings. So here's the deal. We got a 3-2 game, and this is bottom of the pint. So what Krueg and I are going to do on Friday nights, and this is just kind of the trial version of it, but I told you that there was going to be this overlay. We'll have an overlay when the season gets going. So we'll have an overlay, so you'll be able to, and maybe right now you're watching maybe on your, whatever. I got an iPad going. I got a TV right here. I got stats right here. I got the TV behind me. So I'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. Any questions, comments, thoughts on the, I know I need to chug because I just got a peanut stuck. Any questions, comments, thoughts on the game, we can do that. If you want to go into the draft, while I won't be able to tell you about 7th rounders and free agents, I certainly will be able to tell you about a lot of the players in the draft. So if you want to go in that direction, we can. If you want to throw in a Warriors thought, they're the 7th seed now. They are tied with the Clippers, and the Clippers have a 3-zip series lead. I do think it's just really weird to me. I just think the Clippers and Warriors are going to come down to that final game of the season for some weird reason. So if you want to get into that conversation, we can. But mostly the bottom of the pint show is about chugging beers, hanging out, talking some Giants ball. As we said, if you want to be negative about the Giants on opening day, how dare you? But you can be negative if you want. You just have to pay into the kitty. It's very simple. There's a swear jar. You have to hit up that. And as we said before, if you want Krueg and I to chug beers for 30 supers, we will start chugging beers as well. We've already got our first Let's Go Dodgers. I can't really complain about that. They're 2-0. Who do they have today? They have the Tigers. I think they have the Tigers tonight. Isn't that right? They have the Tigers tonight, do the Dodgers. So that's what's going on as far as that goes. 3-2. Again, 3 runs, 7 hits for the Reds. Through 6 innings, 2 runs, just 3 hits for the Giants. 2 singles for Mike Yastrzemski. 1 Apo-Taco home run by Elliot Ramos. Webb is already done for the day. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned, 3 base on balls, 78 pitches. Ramos, like I said, 1 for 2. And the Giants are at bat. Top of the 7th inning. Another new pitcher for the Reds. Hunter Green was absolutely great today. But as we always do it, Emilio Pagan, who former A number of different teams that he pitched for. So he's with the Reds now, and the Giants are up to bat. And Ramos is up to bat in the top of the 7th inning, just down 3-2. Giants, 5 of their first 6 batters struck out today for the Giants, so that's where we sit at the Great American Ballpark. And as I said, and I want to welcome you if you just came into the show, happy opening day. Everybody take a chug. Hopefully you have some kind of thing. I went out and went all out. I got the nuts. I got the popcorn. I got the peanuts. I even have some hot dog left over, but honestly, I got it at the beginning of the show or the beginning of the game, and I got like a little bit left, and it's cold, so I'm not going to show you the dog again. Ramos strikes out, 1 down, top of the 7th, as the Giants lead, or as the Reds lead the Giants 3-2. So that's where we sit right now. Willy Adames, a couple of strikeouts. Nice. Oh, trying to go oppo, hit it pretty well, but no go. So who was that? Fitzgerald? No, that's Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey lines with the left. So 2 quick outs in the 7th inning for the Giants. Give me your thoughts. Love to know your thoughts, even though we're just past 6 innings into the game. And I did this morning on my show. Just give me your thoughts. How do you think the Giants going to do this year? What is your feeling? Are you pessimistic? Are you optimistic? What makes you pessimistic? What makes you optimistic? Logan Webb wasn't great today, but that doesn't concern me. He's going to throw his 200 innings. Last year, what do you have? 204 innings, 347 ERA. I think he's going to be fine. But the rest of the season, what do you think of the rotation? I'm fond of a term that I talked about this morning on my show, and I did a whole Giants preview that 6 innings into the game is not going to change my opinion at johnlundunleashed.com. But, the thing that concerns me is the ifs on the Giants. So the things that, as I say, are in the bank that you can pretty much bank on all the time. And I put Logan Webb in there, and today's performance isn't great, but it doesn't change it. But as far as, Justin Verlander, that starts tomorrow. Am I nervous about that at 42 coming off a neck? Robbie Ray, he's a little bit more removed from a TJ, the young pitching, because as well as I do that when it comes to the Giants and this ballpark, they've got to be a top 10 pitching staff in order to be a contender. I mean, this is how it is. Go look back at 10, 12, and 14. They were ranked in overall ERA, 1st in 2010, 4th in 2012, and 10th in 2014. And obviously Madison Bumgarner took over, and that was that. So that's it. I am not drinking wine coolers. I have to do this again. This is a Corona Sunbrew Citrus Cerveza. It's very refreshing. I saw it in the store this morning when I was stocking up for opening day. And I said to myself, that looks very refreshing. And it has been. Not a wine cooler. A citrus-flavored Corona, which is basically, they always stick a lime in your Corona. It's basically like somebody already stuck the lime in the Corona, and you didn't have to do it. So it's not all that different from a Corona, to be honest, but it's very nice. But like I said, if it's offending anybody and we get to our 30 supers today, I'll chug something different. And I got other things. I got a whole cooler because I knew we'd be sitting here for a few hours. I have a full cooler of beers, and so we'll see what we end up chugging when we do that. All right, Flores up. I'm not going to say anything negative because I'll get fined. I'm only here so I don't get fined. But he's 0 for 2 with 2 unimpressive at bats, and I'm not going to be judge, jury, and executioner on him on opening day. But I wouldn't give him a whole lot of rope at DH. Last year he struggled so much, and it's too bad that Encarnacion got hurt. As I said before, I like to move the DH around to give guys time off and those kind of things, but his bat still looks slow. He just doesn't look right. There was a lot of talk of that last year. He just went after a high fastball, which was ridiculous, which he could never catch up with. So, no, not negative. Just kind of seeing, the basics as far as Flores is concerned. So we'll do that. What else do we have on the chat line today? Let me look here. What else do we have? All right. Good. Again, 3-2. The Giants are down. Let's see. No, I am getting close to negative. I will say that but I'm not going to do it. I told myself, especially on opening day, and we made a pact as a show for the bottom of the Pint show that we would not get negative on the Giants, that we just wanted to have fun, that we just wanted, but we'll just call it like we see it. But I don't know that would be overly negative. I'm just saying that when I wrote the Giants preview, one of the what ifs was not so much, and it wasn't a negative. It was just that some of these guys who we've kind of counted out, and I'm going to put Wilmer Flores in that, some of these guys that we have counted out have just got to come through. And Flores, especially early in the season with the Encarnacion injury, Flores has got to be one of those guys. Do I think that he's going to hit 23 home runs like he did 2 years ago? No. But not going to say anything. Just took one on the outside. That wasn't all that close. I'm going to have to go double check it because they're going to commercial. So there you go. Giants down 3-2. Flores 0 for 3. I think it was a couple of weekly hit balls and then that strikeout. He might have 2 strikeouts on the day. But anyway, Flores early. It's early. And I'll drink to that because if I don't drink to it, yeah, I thought it was a strike 2, Tacky. Thanks. Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. Like, all right, I'll just drink so I don't say anything. Again, not a wine cooler. Very citrusy. Corona, very citrusy. It's like you put like 3 limes in it. That's all. There's nothing else. Please, everybody else, take a chug as well. After that, bat, you're probably going to need it, so you don't say anything negative. That's why I did it. I just thought to myself, okay, I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, Kyle, I'm not. I think you're 100% right. Giving Matos at DH. I think tomorrow. I think that Bob Melvin, who maybe sometimes to a fault, will allow the veterans to come out and say, okay, let's just see. He's done it before. Let's give him a chance. Those kind of things. But with Flores just coming off the season, like last year, I could understand it. You give him a chance. You give him a chance. You give him a chance. Maybe even more chances than he should have. But he's coming off 23 home runs. So if he gets off to a slow start, you're like, okay, I get it. But this year, coming off 4 home runs, coming off the injuries, coming off a bat that this season again looks like it was last year, he's just getting older. Guy's had a really nice career, but he's getting older and he doesn't look very good. So I'm not going to say when you have 162 games that you're going to pull the plug after one game, but man, they're just not good at bats. And you can tell good at bats, bad at bats. I'm not going to overreact over one game. There's 162. It's not like the NFL where you have a couple of bad games in the NFL. You're like, okay, wait a minute. We can't go to 0-3. We don't want to go to 0-2. Baseball, it's not that way. But I'm just looking at the quality of at bat for Wilmer Flores, and he's doing the same thing he did last year. He's swinging at pitches high up out of the zone that he could never get to, and he's just kind of waving weakly at a slider away. I saw that, and then that one on the edge there, that was a strike. Like you said, Tacky, that was absolutely a strike. And he strikes out, and it's a key situation. So you've got other guys, as everybody's talking about. Everybody's screaming and yelling for Matos, right-handed hitter, same thing as Wilmer Flores. After the at-bats that I've seen for Flores today, it wouldn't surprise me if they had another opportunity late in the game if Matos was a guy that would go up there because it's just the quality of bat or lack thereof for Wilmer Flores in that last inning. It was ugly. It was ugly. They're recapping the game on TV. Ramos with the only offense of the game for the most part for the Giants. Mike Yastrzemski has 2 hits. Ramos has an Oppo Taco home run. If you're just joining us and the Giants are down 3-2, bottom of the 7th. Hunter Green was absolutely dominant. Logan Webb, not so much. But nobody's going to panic over Logan Webb. Good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. 49ers Red Zone, good afternoon, John. Good afternoon to you. Fossey, it's good to see you. Wonderful to see you. Serpone, I think we saw you this morning. Very nice to see you again. Very nice. Willie has not done anything to this point. Eric Miller, by the way, enters the game 4-5 at the 388. To me, Miller's rather underwhelming. He's kind of a player that if he's in your pen, it kind of shows you where your pen is. Your pen's good, not great. He's not a terrible player. Maybe he'll be a little bit better this year, but he's just okay. He's just a guy. He makes me nervous in a situation like this because this is a winnable game. It's a 1-run game. You're just trying to toe the line a little bit here, and I'm not a huge Eric Miller fan, so I hope he does well. I'm with you, Kenny Powers. Let's go, Eric. I'm positive. Let's go. He's just okay. Let's see. Who else do we have today? Good to see everybody. Yeah, I would agree with you. Joe. I think Flores is pretty much done, but the way that Bob Melvin does things is he's going to give guys a little bit extra who are veterans, and I completely understand that, but you don't have a whole lot of time. You're the Giants. You can't get off to a slow start. You know what the Dodgers are going to do. You're fighting with the Padres. That means you're going to be fighting with all the wild card teams, and it's unlikely that they all get off the slow starts. Like if you're in your division, team gets off to slow start, you're like, okay, they're going to let us hang around. When you're fighting for the wild card and that's what's happening, you got to be solid from the get-go. And it's come down to, even if you're the most optimistic Giants fan, it's going to be tight because there's going to be a lot of teams involved in this whole thing. And so I'm not saying that this is a must-win game or anything. It's opening day. And like I said, I want to stay positive on opening day, but it's a 3-2 game. You got to try to win this thing. You got to try to lock this thing down. 9-1-2 is what's up. Trevino, the former Yankees catcher, is up for the Reds here to lead off in the bottom of the 7th, and Eric Miller quickly gets him in an 0-2 hole. So again, questions, comments, thoughts on the Giants. What do you think they're going to do this year? I know that, again, we're in opening day, and so we have a look at them, but your optimism level, what are you optimistic about? What are you negative about? What do you think they're going to do? And let's see, what else do we got? Yeah, we're going to do this every Friday, by the way. Bottom of the Pint. Every Friday, we're going to do this for Giants games, and we hope that you hang out. Keep the supers coming. We get them up to 30 during the show. Krueg and I will chug entire beers. So I got to go into my garage fridge, as there's a pop out to Chapman to end that at bat, because I'll get an acceptable beer for somebody. Like I said, I wasn't going to sit here for 3 hours and chug IPAs. I wasn't going to do that, because this is, I don't know what the alcohol level it is. I'm going to just take a wild guess, 4 or 5%, something like that. But yeah, I wasn't going to chug like my 8 and 10% IPAs today. Wasn't going to do that, because then I'd be on my face, which would be good for you, but not for me. All right. TJ Friedel is up 1 for 3 with a single against Eric Miller. Oh, that's a good question, Julius. What month do you think Eldridge will be called up? Well, first and foremost, what do? Strike out 8 of his 12 appearances. He had that home run to lead off spring training. And I always give out a warning about spring training, that the only thing that really matters about spring training is that you don't get injured like Encarnacion did, or like, there's a few pitchers that got hurt, obviously Garrett Cole. And so that was the only thing I cared about. So when Eldridge hits that home run to start spring training and everybody starts going bananas, that's all nice and everything. Then he strikes out, I think, 6 or 7 times in a row, and he struck out, I think, 8 of his 11 or 8 of his 12 at bats in spring training. So obviously he's got a lot of work to do. And then the other thing you hear about from people around the Giants is we all assume that first base is this really easy position. Because, I played it when I was a young kid, so it must be easy. I played it in softball, so it must be easy. But it's not at the major league level. And so they're teaching, get a little grounder, foul. Nope, that's fair. First base, 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. Giants down 3-2 to the Reds at Great American Small Park. But apparently defensively, he's not good as well. And so while I'm looking at Lamont Wade Jr. and I'm going, ugh. Like, he had an opportunity early in this game to knock in a run, didn't. And so it'd be nice. They're waiting on Eldridge, there's no doubt. What month do I think? It's hard to gauge, because he didn't have a great spring. And it seems to me that he just barely turned 20, and they're not going to rush him. They're not going to rush him up. Maybe if there's a lot of injuries, they would consider it, but he's got to get off to a great start. Again, in that league, Sacramento's a hitting ballpark, Reno's a hitting ballpark, Salt Lake City's a hitting ballpark, thin air type places. You should hit well there. That's why we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Like, the A's, their numbers, from going to Oakland to Sacramento as a home ballpark, their numbers are going to jump. So a guy like Brent Rooker, he might have a chance to lead the American League in home runs. And I realize that Aaron Judge is in the American League, but I do also realize that it's going to work, man. So anyway, there you go. Cheers from Richmond, California. Good morning and good afternoon to you. What else do we have? Very nice. Eric Miller is the guy you want to go drinking with. Yeah, Eric Miller's he's like 6'7", 255. Like, I don't know that I would want to go drinking with Eric Miller. He'd definitely drink me in at the table. And just as I say that I'm, Eric Miller, he goes 3 up and 3 down, gets him to the top of the 8th. Well done. So we got Yastrzemski, who's got 2 hits, Fitzgerald, and then the top of the order. And not a whole lot of thump from the top of the order. So Yastrzemski is going to lead it off. I know that we all talk about Yastrzemski and could replace him in right field. I talk about that all the time. But Yastrzemski is going to lead off, and he's already got 2 hits, 1 to right and an oppo shot to left. So hopefully he can get on. They can do something here, down 1 run, but nice job by Eric Miller. I don't think I trashed Eric Miller. Just, he's not the dominant reliever, but he kept him in. That's the bottom line to the whole thing. So very nice. What's going on? Hey, Joe, what's happening? Let's see. Who else do we got going on? Again, what are your thoughts about the Giants? How good do you feel about the Giants? What are your general thoughts? What I did in a piece that I wrote, Happy Opening Day to you, 49er Red Zone. What I wrote about this morning as far as the Giants were concerned is that while Vegas has them at about 79.5 wins, and I detailed this, it's a perfect time to look at the Giants right now, because from the last time they won a World Series in 2014, so the next year's 2015, Last year, obviously 2024. So that's 10 years of data that we have on the Giants. And in that time, and remember, 107 win a season in 2021. In that time, they were 4 games over 500 for the last 10 years. So they're a 500 team, and they went 107 and 55 the one year. So, they had a 64 in there. They had a couple of low 70s, like 73. But their winning percentage over the last 10 years is 501. Great if you're trying to do ads for jeans. Not so great if you're trying to win baseball games. So 501 winning percentage. So there's a lot of 80 and 82s, 78 and 84s, 79 and 83s. And what Vegas has for them is 79 wins. I think they're going to be at 83, 84. I'm going to give them over 500. But now what happens is, because you know that the Dodgers are going to win the division every single year. I hate them, you hate them, but let's face reality. They're going to win. Because if you think about last year for the Dodgers, and I'm sorry, and I know it's opening day, so I don't want you to vomit your hot dog or peanuts up. But last year they were 18th in team ERA, were the Dodgers. 390. They were 19th in starter ERA, behind the Giants at 430. And then they picked up Blake Snell. Yamamoto only pitched 90 innings last year. They picked up Sasaki, as we know. Ohtani's going to pitch. And so they're going to be better on the mound. The Giants have to be a top 10 pitching staff in order to be competent, because their offense is never going to carry them like the Dodgers can carry them. So even if the Dodgers, they'd have to have a rash of injuries, really, the Dodgers, unseen by mankind, because now they've already had the offense, and now all of a sudden they're going to add the starting pitching to this whole thing, and their pen is really solid. So now you're fighting for a wild card. So that means if you look at the East, and by the way, after I just gave praise to Mike Yastrzemski, he strikes out on 3 pitches. So 1 out, top of the 8th. The Giants are down 3-2 in Cincinnati. Happy opening day. And I'm not negative whatsoever. It's time for Tyler Fitzgerald. But so they've got to have great pitching. So to me, everything hinges on starting pitching, especially. And Logan Webb wasn't good today, but I'm okay with that. But Verlander at 42, coming off the neck, that kind of thing. That would be my major issue with everything. Fitzgerald at bat, and I'll get back to the big picture on the Giants here in a second. Fitzgerald, to me, and I wrote about this, I talked about the sophomores. I did 5 keys for the Giants to have a great season. And that was a terrible swing. And one of the things I said was Elliot Ramos and Tyler Fitzgerald, because they showed a lot of promise last year. It's Ramos was he the first half guy, the second half guy. Fitzgerald hit 8 home runs in 1 month last year, over a 53 at-bat span. So how good is he? Are these 2 guys who are sophomores this year as good as what they showed last year, and can they be consistent? Did Fitzgerald just strike? Oh, he just got saved. So 1 and 2 on Fitzgerald. But this is a major key, because as Fitzgerald, the guy, you look at it and you go, wow, 15 home runs, 17 stolen bases. You got to be an athletic team in this ballpark, which for some reason Farhan Zaidi just never got it. He kept saying it year after year after year. We're going to be athletic. We're going to be athletic. We're going to be athletic. Never athletic. Never were athletic. So they've got a guy in Tyler Fitzgerald who is athletic. I would have liked to have seen, and I've said this before, like an Alex Bregman. He moved to second base with the Red Sox. He's a gamer. He wins. I know he cheats. I don't care. Fitzgerald just struck out on high heat. I'm not going to make any snap judgments on opening day, but Fitzgerald's at-bats have not looked good. But it's key that Fitzgerald is good. It's key that Ramos has gone Apotaka. We're not going to make any sweeping declarations based on game number 1, but Fitzgerald has not had good at-bats today. And now we're to the top of the hour. So top of the order. 2 outs, 8th inning. Lamont Wade Jr. is at the plate, 3-2. I don't know who this dude is for the Reds, 64, but he is throwing gas. And the Giants have struck out a ton today, and that's always an issue with the Giants. So there you go. Tacky says, I think Larry fell in the toilet. I guess he had an interview that he had to tape is why he's gone, but don't worry about it. It's no big deal. No big deal. He'll be back momentarily. But what I was talking about as far as the Giants in a long term and just looking at this whole season is a lot of what if situations. It's very difficult when you've got to be the team that is you're not going to be in it for the division title. Pop out. No, he didn't catch it. Or did catch it. Didn't catch it. Okay. As Lamont Wade Jr. is up. There's another guy, Lamont Wade Jr. Now, in 2021, when they had that 107-win team, and I talk about this a lot, like you look at these 50-50 guys, basically what I call what ifs. They're 50-50 guys. Lamont Wade Jr., remember late night Lamont. He was doing all these great things. He's knocking in all these runs, all these key things. He had 17 home runs that year, just absolutely great. And then this year, because they're waiting on Bryce Eldridge, they're like, well, we don't want to go out, spend a lot of money at the position. Bryce Eldridge is almost ready. Maybe it's a year away. So we're just going to, just get by on Lamont Wade Jr. And that's fine and dandy. But my thought would be another organization would look at this and say, at least let's bring in a guy for a year. And I like Lamont Wade Jr. He gets on base and all those kind of things. But earlier on in this game, there were runners in scoring position and Lamont Wade Jr. struck out. And even at that point, it's like, even if you get on here, it's like we need somebody to be knocking in runs. And so he just hasn't done that for a couple of years. Had a lot of injuries. So as I look at him in a key situation, and he's your leadoff guy, so he's up a ton in a game, this would be a great situation to get him on, get him in. But and then Willie Adames is at the plate, is up next. And Adames has 2 strikeouts tonight. And I think it was a weak grounder is what his third one. So this would be a big at bat for Lamont Wade Jr. here in the 8th inning, because if he's out here, then in the 9th inning, it's going to be your 2, 3, 4. If he can somehow get on, then there's Willie Adames, who last year, career high 32 home runs with the Brewers. He jacks one out of the yard. You haven't played that great today, and you could be up 4-3. So there you go. Give it a ride. Oh, it's a nice catch in right field. So you can't get that's a nice cut by Wade. That's just a great catch in right field by the Reds outfielder. Okay, so 3-2 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Hopefully the Giants can hold here. And then we'll be up for 3 in the 9th inning. And you got 2, 3, 4 up. So that's not the worst thing in the world. Got to hold here, though. It's absolutely imperative that they do. And then you come up, and you got Willie Adames coming up. You got Chapman coming up. You got Lee coming up. In the order, it's Adames, Lee, Chapman coming up. So you got to get a hold here. So that's what you got. All right, give me your thoughts on the Giants. Big picture on the Giants. What are your thoughts? You can give me any kind of questions, comments, thoughts. We can do that as well. If you want to, that's right. Very nice. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, that looked nice, didn't it? Right off the bat, I thought, oh, there you go. Trade Wade Jr. back to Boston for some lobster. He was in Minnesota, actually, but I get your gist. I understand what you're saying there. Kenny Powers, why is he swinging full count? That was a nice cut, man. That was just a nice play by the right fielder. A lot of right fielders don't make that play. That would have been nice. 14 strikeouts is a joke. That's kind of Giants baseball, right? I mean, it kind of is. That's just what it is. Yeah. Today for the show, people are asking about the food choices. So, of course, it being opening day. We got the peanuts. I got the bowl, too. It's like a dog bowl, though, for the peanuts. Got the Corona brew that people are making fun of today, but it is a sun brew. It is basically a citrus Corona, which I've seen it in the store a bunch. And I was like, I got to take a look at it. And there you go. With pretzels. By the way, if you want to overdose on pretzels, the dots are the ones. These are the barbecue ones. They're not paying me a dime to say this. Do not. There's a bag like that, and it's got purple on it, and it's the ones that are cinnamon and sugar. And I don't know if you watched Receiver on Showtime. Did you watch Receiver on Showtime? And it was Justin Jefferson, and I don't know how he stays in shape if you watched it. You open up his pantry, and he's got this side of his pantry that is all junk food, like jelly beans, potato chips, candy bars, like this whole thing. But what his number one snack is, and it's a combination of everything that is really bad for you, but they taste amazing, is their pretzels with cinnamon and sugar on them. So a cinnamon sugar pretzel, and if you eat 5, you'll eat 1,000. Like, we got a bag of those things just because I saw it on Receiver. And so, I get them. I eat about 5 of them. And then what you want to do is, you start, having a cocktail or a drink with them or something because they make you thirsty at the same time because it's a pretzel after all. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, these are better than anything I've ever had in my life. And within like 10 minutes, I've had 3/4 of the bag. And I look at the back of the bag. You don't even want to look at the back of the bag because you think to yourself, pretzels are fairly not terrible for you. Yeah, if you eat about 10 of them, not if you eat 1,000. And so I mean, I don't know that I'd eaten 1,000, but I'd probably eaten 100. And there's cinnamon and sugar. And if there was an equivalent of food to crack, that would be it. I mean, it was just, I didn't even realize I was doing it. They were so good. And so I saw those, and the barbecue ones are good. They're good, like salty, so you can drink some beers with them. That's why I bought them. Good opening day snack. But don't buy the dots that have the purple because you'll just suck down the whole bag. Or if you do, take about 10 of them, put them in a little bowl, and then do your best that way. But they are amazing. So anyway, yeah, I got all the snacks today because I'm like, it's opening day. Got to roll with it. Got to go. Oh, sorry, I shut the game down. All right, there we go. 1 down. Tyler Rogers in the game. Good call. People can rip Tyler Rogers all they want. And my kid is, all about velocity and all those kind of things, and that's fine. But when I put the list together of guys who are giants that you put in the bank, in other words, what they're going to give you every single game, I put Tyler Rogers in there, and there's only like 5 of those guys for the Giants. Where okay, I know what they're going to give me. I know what Webb's going to give me. I know what Chapman's going to give me. I know what Rogers is going to get. Like, I know. And he's one of them. So have him shut it down. Have him shut it down. My iPad, for some reason, all of a sudden is weird and behind. Okay. 1 out in the 8th. 3-2 for for Tyler Rogers. So that's what we got. But anyway, yeah, they're absolutely amazing. Yeah, dots are fire. G. Martinez. Dots are fire. But just, I'm telling you right now, not because they're not good, just because you'll just eat the whole bag. It's just ridiculous. So I saw him today. I'm like, eh. JJ Rader's like, you're doing the opposite of having me get those pretzels. Yeah, you're probably right. Like, if they had a marketing rep in the room right now, they'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing how he's telling us not to do this. Yeah, Jim knows. Jim is like, delicious and addicting. And you don't even, it's one of those foods where you don't even realize you're eating it because it's just so good. And you're just watching something. You're like, oh my God. And then it's like, what happened to those things? Like, you ate them out of mind. All right. Here's the at-bat of the game right now. Elly De La Cruz is up for the Reds right now in a 3-2 game in the bottom of the 8th. He's already scored 2 runs. He's so ridiculous as an athlete. And hopefully Tyler Rogers, it must be, you know what I would love? And I don't know if you'd love it more to go like a Tyler Rogers or a guy like throwing 100 miles an hour, but I'd love to just step up to the plate with and see what happens with Tyler Rogers. Because you look at it, like I was telling this story before I went ADD, is you look at it and you think to yourself, well, it's 71, 72 miles per hour. How difficult can it be? But it's just, there's a lot of funkiness coming at it. And the one thing that makes me nervous about Rogers is teams who have seen him again and again and again, get in there. Very nice. A ground out to first, nice play. Rogers gets over, 2 out in the 8th. That's a huge out for the Giants. Because if he gets on base, then he's stealing second, that kind of stuff. Am I way behind? Yeah, I guess I am. See, the thing is, this TV's right. I'm trying to stay on my iPad with it. My iPad's actually behind. Let me see if I can get ahead here. My iPad's behind. That TV behind me, which I don't want to look at, is right on point there. So what does he got? Oh, he's got a man on first and 2 out. Okay, that's what I got. Sorry. Yeah, I was behind a little bit there because I was looking at the wrong thing. So now I got to look behind me. I don't want to look behind me. I am behind. I didn't realize that. All right, we're good. I'm caught back up again. It's very, very nice. All right. Very nice. All right. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Very nice. Let's see. Jim says, I got to be on batting practice not too long ago. The machine was probably throwing 50 tops. I couldn't hit it. Yeah, hitting is so difficult. I always go back and forth, and I'm thinking to myself, what is the most difficult thing to do in sports? Is the most difficult thing to do in sports to hit a ball? Is the most difficult thing to do in sports like play quarterback? I always think it's play quarterback because, I mean, you're talking about 300-pound men trying to rip your face off. So my whole thing is, I think that playing quarterback is, but then you watch something like that where you could go from, top of the 9th, you could go from, a guy like Tyler Rogers throwing 71 with this funky motion, and then the next guy coming out of the pen is somebody like Ryan Walker or Camilo Duvall, or, guys throwing 100. Last guy was throwing 71. It's like, what the hell, bro? So that's what's become so difficult about it. It's tough. All right, top of the 9th. We're all caught up. All right, here we go. Top of the 9th inning. Willy Adames, Jung Hoo Lee, Matt Chapman. That's what we got. Tacky says, my friend and I argue about hitting a baseball versus a major league pitcher or scoring one basket in the NBA. I think we'd have a better chance hitting ball in the NBA. Although, that's the thing that's amazing about people is, when you watch all-star games in the NBA or any of that kind of stuff, these guys are so good defensively, and you just realize, like other people say, it's not that hard. Oh, it's hard. It's absolutely.
I'm back.
Oh, you came back at the perfect time because now we got top of the 9th. So we got Willy, 3-2. Willy Adames, you got the middle of the order, 2, 3, and 4. Willy Adames, Jung Hoo Lee, Matt Chapman. Although
what has happened to this? What has happened?
It's not an overly imposing 2-3-4, but I'm going to stay positive. But that's not an overly imposing 2-3-4.
We just need someone to pop one out.
Yeah.
2 runs at the Great American Ballpark.
That's not good.
That's
not good. Plus, you had opportunity. I mean, that's the thing is Hunter Green. I understand. All right, Hunter Green, I get it. He's an all-star pitcher and he pitched really well. But then, it's not like Scott Barlow is all that, or Emilio Pagan's been around forever. He's not all that. It's not like the Reds have a hammer bullpen, but they couldn't score against anybody. So here we are. Yeah, and everybody's got a decent closer. That's the problem. Is then you get to the ninth, everybody has a decent closer.
This guy's throwing 95.
Yeah.
It used to be I can remember when Goose Gossage was closing for the Yankees, and he was throwing everything he had at it.
Yeah. And
he was 96.
Right.
And now it's everybody throws 96.
Yeah.
This guy just threw that right there. That was 93. Okay, but the pitch before was 96.
Well, isn't the average fastball in Major League Baseball now right around 95? I mean, that's just average. And before, if you were throwing 95, you were throwing gas.
Yeah,
that's what concerns me about Harrison. Is I'm seeing Harrison as pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, and man,
skate him, sweeper.
Adames has had a rough day.
Has he?
3. I think it's 3 strikeouts. Yeah, he's had 3 strikeouts. Yeah,
he's going to strike out. He's going to strike out. And that's one thing this guy does a lot. He strikes out.
Yeah. And as Francis points out, that's 15 strikeouts for the Giants on the day.
15 strikeouts.
15. Remember all that?
15.
Remember all that spring training talk? Oh, it's just one game. Not gonna be negative. One game.
Jim Molay in the house says Adames just crumbled. Yeah, I saw that.
That was an ugly at bat.
Somebody pop one out. My God.
I mean, this is your 2-3-4, right? This is your 2-3-4.
Yeah, and 2 hole is supposed to be your big hitter.
Yeah, 2-3-4.
Come on, Jung Hoo.
See, that's a problem too. Is your 3 hitter right now? He's a line drive hitter. He's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark right now. I mean, he could in Great American Small Park. It's such a small park, but
to me, I like his power better than I like his speed. He's got good bat speed.
Because he's got that uppercut swing, so it is natural if he's in a park like that he could. And then you got Chapman as your last hope. Let's see.
It'd be nice if bloop and a blast. It'd be nice if this guy.
Well, that's what they did. Jung Hoo Lee got on right, and then Ramos went Apotaco. That's how they scored their 2. Got a walk and a blast.
2-2,
and he's up 5th, so he's up after.
3-2. Okay, he's 0 for 2 on the day, huh? Jung Hoo.
And he's got a walk. There you go. Very nice. Very nice.
Bloop and a blast. Bloop and a blast.
Everybody's like new hitting coach. I love the first game of the season. New hitting coach immediately. Oh, it's outstanding. Outstanding.
Well, that's a hell of a forehead on Fitzgerald.
Oh God, I that's so funny that he said that because I thought Fozzie. I was thinking the exact same thing. Isn't Fitzgerald 27? My God, that is way too young to have that forehead, bro.
Yeah,
that's a 47 hair. That's like a 47 forehead.
He looks.
Dude, seriously, that's a 5 head. That's not a 4 head. That's a 5 head.
He needs to call Jed and find out wherever Jed's getting his stuff. There we go. A walk.
You're not going to the draft show now.
A walk. By
Jung Hoo. Tell you that story. I ever tell you that story that they told me and Tolbert were doing the show and for a few straight days was going after the bald spot on Jed's head. I got a text from somebody in the Niners. Hey man, could you guys take it easy on Jed? Man? Take it easy on the hairline. I'm like, all right.
I think it looks amazing. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody look better. Seriously, he looks great. That's the best. That's the best.
Dude, all of a sudden, that thing's gone.
That's the best. Him and
Tyler
Joe
Fitzgerald
Buck
needs to look into that. Yeah, Joe Buck's open about it. Joe Buck lost his vocal cords. He did a hair transplant. They said they stick this thing down your throat so you can breathe during the surgery, and they said they hit his vocal cord.
Awful.
Yeah, they put the thing down his throat so he could breathe and to keep his windpipes open or whatever.
Chapman, we got action. Jung Hoo's going to third. We got first and third. Ducks on the pond.
You're good luck.
Stuff's happening.
There we go. Runners on the corners. And you got
a beer.
And your guy Ramos is up. You guys, Ramos is up. I got a cold one right here, man.
Ramos.
Nice.
I got
it sitting nice right here.
I got the rest of my beer. But I'm gonna get
that's a good call.
If they get a run here, I'm gonna go in there.
Oh, you got to read this. You got to pop that next one up. That's a great call on what Fitzgerald should do.
Fitzgerald should just go full Derek White head.
Remember how
Derek White do?
Oh, remember Derek White of the Celtics? How bad of his hair was so bad, and then he just shaped it, and then they ended up winning a championship. But he just went full bald. He went full Tolbert, just like, dude. It was like
that's not going to look that good on Fitzgerald.
Yeah, certain guys can't pull it off. You're right.
It's a little too pale.
Yeah, but God, I don't know, for 27, you got to do something there. You got to think of something because you're too young. 27, sub 30.
Yeah, we got Ramos. Ramos hits another one out, and we're in biz.
Oh, if he hits one out, so this beer is just about full. I'll take this one down. I'll take that down, and we won't even need 30.
Jay Belton says, "Glad you guys are having fun." Yeah, we're at 11 supers. We're chugging at 30.
We got to get it to 30. Yeah, we got to get there. We got to chug one at 30.
Tacky says that sweeper was nasty.
It was.
Oh,
that was one. That would have been one.
We got this one. JM says, "Krug, do a show on draft picks still on the roster. Drake, Jackson, what they need to do to make the team. Drake, they say, may never play again.
He's terrible. He could get healthy. I don't care. He's terrible. It's not because of injuries. He's just bad, and he has no work ethic. And other than that, he's great.
Oh, struck him out. That ball was low.
Yeah, I'm not a Drake Jackson guy.
Look at that. Did you see that pitch?
Yeah, it's not. Can't you appeal? What about appealing? Can't appeal you can appeal now, can't you?
The ball was low.
Why didn't he appeal that? Don't they have the system, or is that just in spring training?
No, I'm sure they have it.
That was you'd have to appeal that. That's not a strike.
God.
The ABS system, don't they don't have that yet, or what? I thought they did. That was then even the box showed it was low.
Yeah, definitely low.
Oh, that's definitely low.
All we need is a base hit, though. We got Bailey coming up here.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff where, not that I'm saying that the guy's on the take, but I mean, that's the situation where people are like, well, they can't affect the game that much. And it's like, well, right there, he did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not even borderline. That's a ball.
Let's go, Bailey. Let's go, Bailey. They're already on their feet in Cincinnati. Bailey is clutch, though. Let's go, Bailey. I believe in Bailey.
When I see, by the way, I've been back and lived Midwest and everything. See, all those people are all bundled up. Like, I've been to Pirates opening games.
Oh, wait. Modular.
It's so damn cold.
Says ABS was spring training only.
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, that's a situation where it's the 9th inning and it's a low pitch. I mean, what are they waiting for? ABS was great, man.
An ABS just in the spring. 3-0. Spring training just this year. 3-0.
That's ridiculous.
Who's on deck? Who's behind Patty?
I got to look up the lineup now. I used to know until I had 6 beers during the game. Flores, please DH for him. Put Matos in. Please don't let Flores. I don't want to get mad. I don't have to put money in the swear jar. I don't want to do it. I don't. But Flores, the game on the line, really?
6. Wow, 3-2.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be negative. I don't.
Yeah, give me a little Matos right here.
Yeah.
That's Flores. Oh,
yeah.
Flores against a righty? I don't know. I like Flores against a lefty, not against a righty. All right. He's going to shoot it to left. I feel he's going to shoot it to left. Base hit! Look at that! Look at that!
I stand corrected, man. Because I was just like, oh.
Look at that.
And Bob Melvin's going, what did you say, Lund? What did you say? What did you say? Next time I see him, he's going to, you're an idiot. I'm going to go, I know.
Look at that. Tie game.
Matos would have hit a bomb.
Tie game. I'll chug for the rest of that.
Yeah. Very nice. You called it, man. You said he was clutch.
Dude, he is
clutch.
clutch.
Bailey was clutch. You called him a clutch guy.
Dude, he's clutch. He's not good.
Look who scored the run. Jung Hoo Lee scored 2 runs today. 2 walks, 2 runs.
Jung.
It's the greatest 3-hitter in the game.
My guy Jung. He's worth every penny. Pat H. Bailey is clutch, Krug.
Barely outstretched to the second baseman, too.
I was at the 3-run walk-off homer he hit last year.
That's huge, man. Because now you're in a...
Thanks for doing this, you guys.
Well here's the other thing, too.
Now, we're having a blast.
Here's the other thing that's great now with the Giants. You're in a bullpen game of the Reds.
Yeah.
And you've got Duvall if he's right, and you got Walker there. This is a game you should win. Yes. The Reds aren't. I'm not saying the Reds are a bad team, but what I'm saying is that you should have an advantage here if Duvall's Duvall and he's right, and you got Walker. You got two hammers in the bullpen. Duvall should be next up, and
Mike Val. Bailey is so clutch, and he doesn't even know it. Is that from what Swingers? Dude, you're so money, and you don't even know it. Don't even know it. I'll say this. This is the product of 21-6 in the Cactus. Goodbye. So? Goodbye. Goodbye.
Now you just go Walker.
Wilmer, 3-run Johnson. Wilmer.
I was killing the guy
earlier.
In
the house to get another beer.
I was killing him. I was killing Wilmer. Oh, look at that pitch is. Just hung it. Just hung that sucker. Wow. That's a no-doubter right there. All right, so how are we feeling about the Giants now? 6-3. All right, cheers to everybody. Cheers to opening day. I'm not saying this game is over because clearly it is not. That is a citrus Corona, just so you know, but clearly the game is not over. But I put before when I did my preview today, I put Ryan Walker in the bank. You got Ryan Walker coming out of the pen. I'm not gonna say this is over because that jinxes things, but feeling pretty damn good. Wilmer Flores. I would have thought he was the last. He's the last guy on the team. I would have thought would hit that.
Look at this bad boy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Look at this. Sierra.
Now you're going Sierra. That's probably like a 6%er. It's not bad.
It's a big time beer. Look at that.
Oh,
what an opener.
Boy, that tastes good. When a guy hits a 3-run home run, your beer tastes amazing, doesn't it?
No. Well, I'm about to slam this one.
Wow.
Look at this.
By the way, day drinking is just the best. Because now, that's a nice looking beer. It's a nice looking beer.
Isn't that a great color? Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada's got the best color.
It's a nice car. That's a nice beer.
I don't know if
so what do we got? This is beautiful. Thursday, 3:30. You're down 3-2 in the ninth inning. Patrick Bailey with a clutch single to right. And Wilmer Flores, who I'm not afraid to say it, I've been crushing this whole offseason like, oh, God. And he hits a 3-run homer, and all of a sudden you win 6-3. And then if Ryan Walker can close this thing out, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Well, while you were gone, too, they got through De La Cruz. So, they're not at the place. That's the one thing is, they had their 2-3-4 up, did the Giants. Very nice.
See Pat H.
Let's see here.
Jim Mullay's in the house.
So good.
Wilmer.
Oh, that's so good, man.
Damn right, Wilmer. Damn right. Look at that.
Yeah, I think Mike's right. I probably owe the tip jar for Wilmer. I tried to be negative. You're probably right. I was probably
Willie
negative
Adamas
about
is
Wilmer.
like, dude, you picked me up. I was S today.
Yeah. I'll kick into the tip jar because I probably owe the tip jar one.
What happened?
Well, I was negative about Wilmer. Wilmer. Oh God. Like I think I was pretty positive all day. I was picking up the troops. I was like, come on, we got this. We're gonna be okay. But
Mike Val says, Larry, read my last comment out loud. Let me see here. Mike Val, it's hard to go back in this thing. Let me see.
Exactly. There's like 1,000 of them. Thousands of thousands.
Take my last comment and download it.
All right.
I can barely breathe. Okay. I mean, you're asking me to do way too much.
You're supposed to just chug the beer.
I don't think you realize how many chats we get as well. I mean, your last comment is like 7,000 chats again. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. They go down and in. Look, they go down and in the zone. Game over. Look at that. I mean,
he hung it out.
Mike Val called that. Well, I don't know if that was down.
Is that well, he did call the first one. I know that, right? He called Wilmer's off the taco.
But this
one
he
called the off the taco.
This one was
the ball. Out. Yeah, the one that Wilmer hit out was a mistake.
It was down and over the plate.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, spinner.
Look at Belay in this house. He goes bomb. There you go. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun today, actually.
Well, it helps when you go 6 runs. I mean, you score 6 runs. I'm going to go out on a limb. Last year when the Giants scored 6 runs, I bet their winning percentage was about 850, maybe even
Daniel
higher.
S. Light the green beam. Go A's. His team is
Dude,
not S.
See,
LOL.
that's a good man right there because Daniel, and I know he's a good man, but Daniel said before that he went into the tip jar and now he's coming back because he said they were S and now he's saying they're not. So there you go. That was outstanding.
Simeon, it's an early Easter miracle.
Cheers, my friends. Cheers. That is outstanding. No, yeah, Mike did a great job. I think Mike hit 2 of those.
Dude, what if our record on Fridays is like 52?
That would be like the old
we gotta keep track
City
of our
Connects,
record.
the old City Connects, right? When they were really good, people liked
what do
them.
you think of the new City Connects with the purple?
Are those true?
I don't get it.
People are saying that those are those for real?
I don't know.
Because if those are for real, God, come on. Like I don't get who does those things. They're terrible.
So bad. They're so
terrible.
Bad. It's like, come on, dude. You can't come up with a good uniform. I could come up with a good uniform.
Oh, easy. Especially given like San Francisco and
I mean, how about this? Look. Think about it. Think about it logically. What do you see at the movie theater? You see movies of yesteryear kind of redone. So all you got to do is the same thing. Take the old uniforms,
right,
and then dress them up with some modern flair, and there you go. Give me an old Giants look, but with kind of a cool looking extra wrinkle, and I'm good to go. Give me an old Cubs, an old White Sox, an old Rangers, an old Twins, give me an old Astros with a little bit of modern flair, touch the retro, and stop make these guys wear uniforms in the All-Star game. My God.
Yeah, I agree. But especially a place like San Francisco, though,
terrible uniforms.
We have so much tradition and so many cool things, and
by the way,
it drives you crazy that it's like you can't take a city like San Francisco with all of its history and think of a way to honor in a City Connect uniform to honor San Francisco. Dude, it's not like we're Cleveland. Like Cleveland, they have they're the home of rock and roll, so that's a bad example. It's not like Pittsburgh or something. It's like it's a great city, man. No offense to Pittsburgh, but it's like it's an easy city.
Look at behind home plate. Almost all the fans have cleared out. Yeah,
because it's cold as hell there. I bet. Like I was in Pittsburgh for an opening day one time when George was a baby, and he's crying his ass off, and it's just like his first game, and I'm freezing in like an overcoat. And my ex-wife at the time was like, "Let's go home." And I'm like, "It's opening day. We will stay." It's like 28 degrees. It's miserable. I don't know how cold it is in Cincinnati, but I mean, you can see people are all bundled up back there. It's friggin' cold. It's just miserable.
Walker gets to save here, right? He gets to save?
No, they're up. What are they up?
Yeah,
6. Oh, yeah, he does. 6-3. Yeah, he gets one. Yeah.
All right. We get one out in the 9th. Ground ball to Fitzgerald. We got this super here. The City Connect uses purple to honor Reardon. LOL. Come on.
Yeah, is it like a purplish black? I saw it. I thought they were fake.
Purple? Seriously.
I thought they were fake because I was like, nah, they wouldn't do those.
Tacky says, Larry, where's the thong? That ain't right. That ain't right. That was a wager
down, baby.
Long ago.
Long ago. One down.
Can't we? Hey, why do we got to talk about the past?
I'm here to talk about the future.
I'm here to talk about the future. We're on to Cincinnati. Mark Graves says, fast forward, Larry. You're a little behind. A little behind?
We're good.
No, I'm
good shape. Yeah, we're in good shape.
You might be getting the Arizona feed, Graves.
Yeah.
Which might be improved, new and improved.
Which, by the way, this would be not, like you said, let's hold our record. So we do, bottom of the pint. We do bottom of the pint on opening day. We win. Then all of a sudden we start doing the Fridays. They start winning.
Yeah. I think we'll finish it off with a nice little chug.
Oh, no doubt. I'm going to have to pull out another beer.
Nice little chug.
I'll pull out a nice one out of my ice cold cooler behind me.
I've never done in-game. This is I broke my maiden. This is my first in-game show.
My maiden.
I've never actually done
that's a nice win, man.
Party type show. But what can I say? I'm here. I'm doing it.
No, it's nice, and everybody's drinking. No, something you did before, which is really good. You bring people on for a minute. They say what they want. They tell us what they're drinking. I mean, we need to add that element.
Yeah,
I like having the mayor on and everything. But hey, pop on the show, real quick. We don't need you for 10 minutes. Just tell us what you're drinking. Tell us what you're doing. Give us a thought on the game. Next. Tell us what you're drinking. Tell us what you're eating. Thought on the game. Next.
Yeah, and once it's a Thursday day, so there's a lot of people that are working. But once we get to, I hit him. Walker hit a batter here. Once we get to the Friday nights, which is, we'll be doing this again next Friday.
Right.
But it's also going to be the home opener. So it'll be a day game.
That's going to be a good time.
More day drinking next Friday.
Then we'll be
doing Friday nights. And so the West Coast Friday night games start at 7. The East Coast Friday night games start on the West Coast at 4. So we're either going to do this in the happy hour window, 4 to 7, or we're going to do this in the Friday night window, 7 to 10. And we're going to have fun. And we're going to slam beers when the 7th inning stretch and web gems and whatever the hell we want. And we encourage you to do the same. We'll take video calls.
I think that's a cool deal there.
We'll do video calls. And in fact, I can put the video thing back in there. If somebody wants to jump in. We can always take a couple video calls. Here's the video and the video thing in the chat. For those of you, all you got to do is click the link in the chat and you just go right to the green room. So there it is at 3:35. It's in the chat. So if anybody wants to jump in via the video call, feel free. John and I would love to talk to you. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. What are you drinking? Where are you watching? And we're just going to do Fridays. We're going to do Friday nights. We'll probably take off and we'll probably wind up doing more.
Right, come on, Ryan. So 6-4.
6-4. Giants looking to close it out to go to 1-0. Terry Francona in the dugout for the Reds. I forgot Terry Francona.
That's right.
I think Francona is one of the best managers in baseball. I really do. High drive to left.
Woo.
But Ramos has got it. And the Giants win.
That's a nice opening day win, man. Because if you think about it,
ball game right there.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Green pitched really well. 5 of the first 6 Giants struck out. They looked pretty dead early. I never lost faith. Of course, some of you did. And then
happy birthday, Buster.
And then Ramos hits the oppo shot, and you get back in it. Logan Webb settles down. The pen was really nice today. Very nice job by the pen, keeping it everything. And then you get the big shot, the big hit from Bailey, and then the big shot from Flores, and nice win.
Nice baseball. Well, I'll say this. They won a lot in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole debate doesn't mean anything. And I just kind of believe that winning begets winning and losing begets losing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you win, the more you win, the better. Even in Cactus League, Grapefruit League, it doesn't matter. The more you win, the better. And the better you feel about yourself. This team they didn't win a few games. They won the most of any team in Major League Baseball in the spring. They went 21-6. What is 21-6 as far as a percentage? That's got to be like about 100 win pace, right? What's 21-6?
I'll do it right now. I know you're asking. Somebody will do it faster than me.
Yeah, it was a. Let me just write this down.
It's 778. It's a 778 winning percentage.
So what's 778 out of 162?
Over 162. Oh, that's ton. I'll give you this. Let's see. That's like 126 wins.
Yeah, it's an awesome pace.
You're setting the all-time record.
You're the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you're pretty good. 125 wins.
On that note, we welcome in Matt Waring. What's up, Matt?
Yo, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
What are you doing, man?
Wow.
What do you think?
It's baseball in action. Gotta love it.
Yeah, that's a big win.
What do you think? Where are you calling from, man? Are you in the Bay?
So I actually grew up in Redwood City, but I live in Denver, Colorado now.
Nice.
Oh, very cool, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're still a fan of all the Bay Area teams?
I follow along, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's hard to get any Giants baseball on, but it's trying to be positive. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's what we're doing today, man.
Yeah.
We decided we're going to do a Friday night, or obviously tonight's not Friday, where it's Thursday, but it's the opener today. But normally we're going to do a Friday night, live stream in game And we're gonna watch along. We normally we're gonna have wrapped around the screen a whole thing that shows the scoreboard, so it'll look a little cooler. But we're getting it rolling. It's gonna be Friday nights. Check it out. I think you're gonna dig it, man. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
You guys are
very
doing
cool.
it up, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
how
we're
long do you think Yaz holds the starting spot? He had a good game today, but I feel like Matos is right on his tail.
I totally agree. I think Matos. I think Matos is going to be their guy. I think Yaz. You may see Yaz a little bit more. My prediction is that, I hate to say this, is that Jung Hoo's going to have more injuries, and that there'll be enough room for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like our O-line, you can't have too many of them.
Exactly.
You're right,
exactly.
dude.
You got to plan for injuries. But I like the Giants vibe. They're very confident. They had a really good spring, really positive. Lots of former Giants were down there, almost like to a man. Like, people were stating, like, yeah, this is going to be a much better year for this team. Like, and when you hear from one person, you think, maybe it's just one person's bias. But then when you hear it from 20 different people, lots of ex-players, you get the vibe. And then you saw the results on the field.
Yeah.
They got a good pen. They got a really deep rotation. They got a nice little infield mix. If Matos comes of age and Wilmer and Lamont do enough at first, and as John said, Fitzgerald's real at second,
yeah,
I think they're a contender. I'll say this. I predicted it at the beginning of the show. I think this is a year. I like the Giants and the A's to win the wild card.
Wow.
In their respective leagues this year. Yeah. Giants and A's both go to the playoffs this year. I think it's going to be a fun year for the A's and Sack. And I think this Giants team is, especially in this first month, because they have a tough schedule the first month. If they can get off to a good start in the first month, I think this thing, sets up nicely. I think the Padres are going to be a disappointing team. I think they're better than the Padres, better than the Rockies. It's about Arizona and this Reds team. Can the Giants beat this Reds team, Arizona, and maybe a couple other teams, Mets, and a couple of these teams that could be in the mix?
Yeah.
But I think the Giants are going to get the third wild card. I really do.
I mean, the fact that we're getting a win and you didn't get much out of Adames and what's his name at third base, Chapman. The fact that we're getting a win and the left side of our infield didn't produce, that's huge.
Well, think about starting pitching today. Green was absolutely dominant and Webb struggled. And normally Webb can be dominant and they'll lose the game. So for them to get, for Hunter Green to pitch like he did, the Reds do the Giants a favor and take him out of the game. Webb pitch in his way, fairly mediocre, and they win the baseball game.
Yeah.
It's a nice opening day. It's a nice
definitely not how I drew it up. That's for sure.
No, absolutely. Hey, thanks, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you, bro.
Checking in from Colorado, man. Appreciate it.
There you go.
Very
Matt
cool,
Waring
man.
checking in.
Yeah, we'll do more of that, man. That's cool.
The video calls are cool, man. The video calls are cool because it also, especially during football season, but even for baseball, it's like where YouTube is really great on sports, I think, is when it allows people who left the market to kind of, be back in the market by listening to people that are kind of local. You know what I mean? It's like baseball is very local, but lots of people move. Hey, I'm a Giants fan, but I moved to Denver. Hey, I'm a Giants fan. I moved to Connecticut. Hey, I'm a Giants fan. I moved to Texas.
Well, it allows you now, right? Just to, stay up close and personal with what you're doing, with where you're from and all that kind of stuff. No, I agree with him. When at the beginning of the game and people are going back and forth, I can see on the chat about who is negative and everything else. I owe the jar on Wilmer Flores because I don't think I went overly negative, but when he was coming to the plate, I was like, it wasn't good. But to win a game in which, and I realize it's only one game at its opening day, so it's fun, but Logan Webb didn't pitch well. Hunter Green did. And you said it right at the time. The Reds, and it's kind of like, I don't really have a point of reference other than high school. Like I played baseball up through high school. And I just remember sitting in the dugout in high school. And when a kid was dominating and then the other team was stupid enough, and in high school, they'll just burn your arm right out. But in high school, when they would take that dominant kid out, everybody in the dugout just had a sigh of relief, like, thank God that kid's gone. And then you would start raking. And so when someone does that, like the Reds today, I realize it's early in the season. I also realize there's 162 of these things. So you don't want a guy to get hurt. But I will never understand taking a guy who's absolutely crushing the other team. He struck out 5 of the first 6, and the Reds take him out after 5. He's not even breathing hard, man. I mean, you just did the Giants a giant favor, and they end up winning the baseball game off your bullpen late. And your bullpen, Cincinnati doesn't have a great bullpen. Hunter Green's an all-star pitcher throwing BBs at 9,900 miles an hour, and you're going to take him out of the game? Thank you. We'll take the win. I mean, that's really nice when Logan Webb doesn't pitch well, your guy pitches well, and you get the win. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, for the Giants, the message is clear. Hang around. But you're right. Hunter Green was totally dominant. 5 innings, he struck out 8. He walked 1. He only threw 84 pitches, 59 of which were strikes. He looked like he was breezing.
Yeah, they couldn't touch him. And that's
you're
the other thing, too, right?
He couldn't go. Couldn't go one more inning. So then you're asking 4 innings out of your pen, and
and they don't have a good pen.
Well, I mean,
it's
like this. It's like sometimes I'll bet like teasers in the NFL, and you get to play with 7 points. Well, you're going to win most of the time, but if you parlay them together and you get enough of them, you can make some decent money. But you got to go 5 for 5. You got to go 6 for 6. And when you take out your starter in the 5th inning, you got to go 5 for 5. And guess what? They went 4 for 5. Barlow was awesome. He came in 1 inning in the 6th. He was awesome. He struck out 2 of the 3 guys he faced. They went to Emilio Pagan in the 7th. He was awesome. He struck out 2 of the 3 guys he faced. Giants did nothing. They went to Centillan in the 8th inning. He threw shutout ball, 2 strikeouts. So they go 3 for 3, and then they go to Gibbot in the last inning. He gives up 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, struck out 2, walked 1, gave up the big home run. Ball game. You needed to go 5 for 5, and you went 4 for 5. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, what are the chances? If you go to, we've all seen baseball enough. If you go to 5 relievers a night, the odds are somebody's not going to have it. And what are you running to figure out who doesn't have it? Now look at the Giants by chance. They had Logan. He went 5. He threw 78 pitches. They pulled him. They got a shutout inning out of Randy Rodriguez, who struck out 2, gave up 1 hit. They got a shutout inning out of Eric Miller. They got a shutout inning out of Tyler Rogers. And Walker finished up and got the save, gave up 1 run. Mm-hmm. So,
here's the Giants,
other thing. It was this. Yeah. This was a great win for them. It really was. It wasn't. They got out hit 8-6. They struck out freaking 17 times as a team. 17 times.
Well, and here's the other thing too: is you get the win. Your starter was not dominant. You just mentioned the relievers they used. But their 8th inning guy is Duvall. They didn't use, they used Walker for 1 inning, but still you didn't burn your bullpen in the entire game. And I understand trying to keep things under control for Hunter Green. Hunter Green's a former number 1 overall pick. The guy can throw. He's crazy. He throws 5 innings, and then you burn your bullpen. Now for the rest of the series, you just use 4 guys out of your bullpen. Like I understand that's how the game is played nowadays. But when I have a big dude like Hunter Green on the mound, and he's dominant in the way that he's dominating, he's going to get, 4 days to recover. He's going to be fine. I don't care if it's early in the season. He can throw 100 pitches. If he throws another inning or 2, and then you go from there with your bullpen, like you said, if Logan Webb had it today, it's not like Logan Webb wouldn't have gone 7 innings just because it's opening day. It's just that Logan Webb wasn't pitching very well. And so the Giants pulled him. I understand that. Hunter Green was just, this is the modern way we do baseball. He's pitching great, but it's early in the season and he's thrown 84 pitches. He's out. That's where, I thought Bob Melvin would do more of this, and I hope he does. Use your eyes. I understand the analytics. I understand the computer saying he's getting tired. He's going to get hurt, but just watch the game. He was cruising. He was dominating the Giants, but you pull him because it says 84 pitches and it's the opening day. I think that's a bad way to manage baseball.
A win's a win, and that's great. But do you look at this one and go, because of the 17 strikeouts and the 2 walks? I mean, the Reds had 8 strikeouts and 4 walks. The Giants had 17 strikeouts and 2 walks. Are the Giants going to cave too much? Should they trade for a Luis Ariz and try to get a contact bat? Because
remember last year, remember the opening day last year? They it was Garrett Cole. They struck out 16 times. against the Yankees a year ago on opening day. I remember it just because we talked about this exact thing. So they struck out a year ago on opening day 16 times against the Yankees. And then today they struck out 17 times. It's just kind of what they do. And plus, if you look at the guys that do strike out, your power guys strike out a lot. So Adames struck out 3 times. Lee struck out twice today. Ramos struck out 3 times. Bailey struck out twice. Yaz and Fitzgerald struck out twice. I mean, if I look at those guys, now I don't know Adames as much, but Lee, he's a strikeout guy. Ramos strikes out a lot. He's got to get better, especially against stuff away from him. Yaz strikes out a ton. So, they do have a high strikeout lineup.
They do.
They shouldn't strike out 17 times, but they do have a high strikeout lineup.
I mean, they scored 6 runs, and yet they put up 7 bagels.
Yeah.
They had 7 innings they didn't score. They had a 4-run 9th, and they had a 2-run 4th. Other than that, they got shut out the rest of the game. 7 bagels. Now, that's a lot. I mean, over the course of the year, the one thing I think that you need as an offense is you got to have consistent scoring. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get another contact bat at some point. But good win. Hey, win on opening day.
Yeah,
and
big comeback, man.
All is good. Fuji Siemens says, wow, this was the first 9th inning opening day comeback win on the road for the Giants in franchise history.
How about that? My God.
The franchise goes back to 1883. This is the 143rd opening day.
They had never come back on the road in franchise history? That's hard to believe.
That is hard to believe. That is wild. We got this one from Pine Needle. Larry, it's baseball. There's many different ways to win. They won the game. Enjoy it.
No, I agree with him. We're not being negative. We don't know the swear jar. We do not know the swear jar. We're just saying,
I can't just
bring up
or 17 they struck out 17 times.
No, I don't think
that's told to enjoy.
I'm the official. All
right.
I don't think that's a swear jar. I don't think that's a negative swear jar.
I'll enjoy it.
No, that's
Jim
a
Olay,
big
good
comeback,
knowledge,
man. I can say that
1883, first year of Giants baseball.
Nice call. I can say that as I was sitting here, you were very enthusiastic over the home runs. You don't deserve a swear jar. When Bailey got that hit, when Flores got that hit, you're as happy as anybody.
Oh, I'm very happy. We got this one from Fuji Simeon. This was fun, Larry. Thank you for the Giants live stream. Nice distraction from waiting on Purdy contract.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, dude, this can be awesome. I'm going to look forward to these because first of all, I don't do it. I don't do this. I don't ever do this. I never go in game. I always watch the game and talk about it afterwards. But this is better because we can have some fun and baseball is the perfect sport. I could never do this for the Niners because
I gotta watch.
I gotta make notes. I gotta be focused. I gotta know. I can't be pounding brews. But for baseball's
different because it lends itself to it. Baseball is about going out to the ballpark, drinking the beers, sitting in the sun. Like it's the whole atmosphere of baseball. Football, my whole life, I've sat there and charted the games and did pre and half and post games. And so, yeah, that's different. I like doing pre and post games for football, but during baseball, this was very cool.
No, I loved it. I loved it. It's going to be my new favorite thing of the week. Tacky says, this was a lot of fun. Thank you, Tacky. Mark Gray says, Larry, looking forward to future streams and more beers. There you go. Loner Incognito, Purdy or Ayuk trade talk? I haven't heard any Ayuk trade talk, but I told John I really do believe that because you got to believe something, right? You got to believe one way or another. I believe that the 49ers want to save that money and are going to trade Ayuk before the 1st of April, which is 3 days from now. So
my opinion is that I believe they want to. I've heard, and by the way, I've heard 2 things. A, the Browns rumor is bogus, and B, I've heard they would love to, but you can't say, hey, Jed. Hi, Jed. Hi, this is Jed. Hey, Jed, how's it going? Hey, would you trade me Ayuk? Sure, you would. My point is it takes 2. And my thought here is just logically is that I'm Jed York or I'm John Lynch and I call somebody. What Brandon Ayuk has turned into is a net negative, to be honest, is like everybody says, okay, you trade Brandon Ayuk and you get like a 4th round pick. Other teams are saying to the 49ers, yeah, we'll take on Brandon Ayuk. You're asking us to give him a $22.8 million check, a $25 million salary next year. So I'm 53.8 into Ayuk. I don't know when he's going to play. How about you give me a 3rd round pick and I'll take Brandon Ayuk off your hands and give him. So that's what it's coming down to me, not a 3rd round pick. But what other teams are saying back to the 49ers is, dude, he's a net negative. You want me to hand him a check for 22.8, pay him $25 million. He's injured and rehab him. I don't know when he's going to come back. And then you want me to give you a pick on top of that? And so that's what the hang up here is that the Niners are saying, give us this, give us that. And other teams are going, well, you know when the draft is? It's a month away. And how about I just pick one there and I don't have to hand anybody a $22.8 million check. So I think the Niners, I think the Niners want to move him. I really do. I think Jed is loath to stamp that rubber check for $22.8 million. I don't doubt that for 1 second. What I do doubt is another team telling the 49ers, sounds good to me. Where do I sign up for that? That's where my issue comes in. I don't know who they're going to find to do that a month away from the draft. Yeah. When the other team who's locked into the draft right now is going, well, hell, we're this close to the draft. I might as well just draft one for cheap. It's the timing of it that I don't think is going to work out before April 1st. And today we're at the 27th. Yeah. So like we're 3-4 days away from this thing. I just don't see a team stepping up unless the 49ers were to say, you can just have them. Just take that. You just sign him. You give him the check. We don't even want him. Like it's to the point now where you and I talk about what are they going to get for him. I think he's a net negative, to be honest with you.
I don't, but I hear what you're saying. I would say that I think the problem here is that the reason that you would trade for Brandon Ayuk instead of going in the draft is that most rookie receivers aren't very good. But the greatest value that Ayuk would normally have, he doesn't have because he's not going to play until whatever. I don't know, October, November. And then even then he's going to be coming off an injury.
If he's healthy, this is a different conversation because Cleveland, for example, because the logic behind the Cleveland rumor, which is not true, but the logic behind the Cleveland rumor is they're going to draft Shedeur Sanders, which I'm not sure they are because the problem is that Watson has a $100 million dead cap right now. So it's not like Wilson. It's not like Aaron Rodgers. They're not letting him go. He's got a $100 million dead cap. Are they going to sit him behind Shedeur Sanders for a year, or is Sanders going to sit behind him for a year? But what they're saying is their only receiver is Jerry Jeudy. So now you got another receiver and you need one. I get that conversation. But the problem is, and you and I both know this guy, Andrew Berry's smart. So if the only way that the Browns go get him is if Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns, who's wacky, goes, I want that guy. Because Andrew Berry's not stupid. He's not going to make that move. But I could see a wacky owner trying to make that move.
I mean, what's the move?
To try to go get. That's what I'm saying. To go get Ayuk. That has to be
for what price? I mean, that's the thing.
But that's what I mean is
what price?
Is the Niners are saying to them back, give us this, and any team in the NFL is saying, give you this. I'll give you a 7th rounder for him because I got to give him a big fat check and I got to pay him.
The one question we don't know the answer to, and this is where I think the rubber's going to meet the road, is we know the Niners want to trade him. Mm-hmm. We know that nobody wants to trade for him at what his normal price tag will be. What we don't know is how much are the Niners willing to come off their price tag to save the money.
And there's
a lot of money. And I think I think the Niners would be willing to take virtually anything to move off of this.
That's what I've heard. That's exactly what I'm telling you. That's what I've heard.
They are going to take what I think John Lynch said it with confidence because he knows that he's already got somebody who's willing to give him something. I just don't. I personally, I think it's going to be a very disappointing moment for 49er fans when they realize that the Niners are moving off of Ayuk. For
I think that's
well beneath market value.
Yeah. And I think that's a bad move. I think it's a bad move because what that smacks of, and this is when you really get in trouble as an owner. This is what happened to Al Davis. This is what is happening to Jerry Jones. These guys start to make it personal. And so with Brandon A, just because Jed is so pissed off that he got pushed to the wall, which you and I have had this conversation, you never had to get pushed to this wall. Wide receivers aren't quarterbacks. And for some reason last year, everyone was desperate to keep these receivers. And then in 2025, everyone went, what were we doing? These guys come in the league every year. So then they release guys, and Devontae Adams is available, and Cooper Kupp's available, and DK Metcalf gets traded, and all these different things, because teams realize that wide receivers don't have that kind of leverage and value. And so now all of a sudden it's like, geez, we got to undo what we did. So what it smacks of, if Jed doesn't want to rubber stamp this $22.8 million by April 1st, that he's just so pissed off about it, and he just wants to say, you know what, we're going to take all this dead cap in 1 year. But as you and I have discussed before, the problem then becomes, okay, you have all these needs in the draft, and you've just added wide receiver at a really high level. And so now what are you going to do? Not take a D tackle, not take an O tackle, because you got to go out and get a wide receiver because you were so pissed off about the money for Brandon Ayuk? That smacks of person, because that's not a good football decision, right? I mean, I defer to you on that.
Yeah,
that's not a good football decision. It might be a good financial decision, but that's not a good football decision, which means it's personal.
Yeah, well, but one thing is, though, you also got to remember that you got 4 different players there. You got Jed, you got Parag, you got John, and you got Kyle. And this might be a real easy one, because if I get the feeling that Kyle doesn't love Ayuk and Ayuk doesn't love Kyle. And so I could see Kyle being for it, and I could see Jed being for it. So, I mean, it's like these guys don't agree on everything, but they would agree on this. And I think they're willing to take less. We'll see. I think they'll muddy the waters on it by throwing in a player. So my guess is it will be like Ayuk for some player and some day 3 pick. And that people will be like, what? I can't believe that. But
no, they don't understand the situation, because right now
I think
teams don't want to teams this close to the draft, especially. People have to understand the timing here. People this close to the draft, when they've done all this study on the draft, are not going, hey, let's write a $22.8 million check. Let's pay this guy $25 million. Let's wait till he rehabs, when we could just go to the draft. And like you and I talk about all the time,
it's not a great receiver draft.
No, it's not. And it's not. And it's a 50-50 crapshoot. But what starts to happen in these rooms, as you know, is that they do find guys that they fall in love with. And they do think that they're going to find a 3rd or 4th round wide receiver that can be what Ayuk is right now. Because right now, Ayuk coming off an MCL and an MCL, it's not like he's exactly a sure thing.
No.
You know?
That's why the risk. He could, there's got to be, some gain, right? What's the gain for a Browns or any team that trades for Ayuk? That you're going to get a really good asset at a reduced price because of situation. And that's what you gain. So that's what you'd get out of it. And what would the Niners get out of it? They would get off the contract, hit a reset, and get
all the money in one off season.
Yeah, accelerate the hit and get down the road. And you know what? They might get a couple day 3 picks, and maybe you could flip one of them for a veteran. I don't know. I mean, I do think it's going to happen, though, because I do think the money is prioritized here. All Niners says, Larry, does any reporter for the Giants post game interviews of players and coaches like Grant, et cetera, do for the Niners? No. They could. They absolutely could. If I was there right now, I could go into the clubhouse and talk to anybody. Hey, man, you get 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'm going to do more and more of that now that I'm not going to do it. Obviously, you and I are going to hang on opening day, but that's going to be I started in this business as a reporter and as a beat guy. And so now that I don't do a show every single day, well, I do here on YouTube, but I mean, I'm not tied to it like I was on the radio and like you were on the radio. That's what's been great about you is you've been able to go down to Niners, and that's going to be my whole thing. I'm going to go to Warriors and Niners and Giants and just go back to my roots and talk to players. I think it's really interesting because you can learn a lot of things, but you can also learn the players. And that's what you did an amazing job with the Niners. They get to know you get to know them, and you get to know insights and things that are going on down there. And that's the major thing. It's not that like every day there's this breaking story that you couldn't get on social media, but there is these relationships that you make with players and coaches where you get insight that nobody else does because you go down there all the time and they start to see you and trust you and know that you're working. And so you get information based on those relationships.
Well, and and we can throw even a couple of those, interviews on a show like this where, we're in the middle of the game and like, hey, here's 3 minutes of, Bob Melvin I talked to in the dugout this morning or whatever. And that, all that stuff's great too. I mean, it's really is good. And the fans, bringing the fans face to face with the players, I think is a good thing.
By the way, we might as well get to 30. We're already at what, 22? We might as well just get to 30 before we end here, so we can have a full chug.
Let's get to 30 supers, and we'll get out of here. I'm pouring my beer up for one last chug.
Because I gotta go. I'm gonna have to go out to I brought in 5 Coronas that I've already done down with, and people were making fun because they thought they were wine coolers, which they were not. They were Coronas. But I'll have to go get another one out of the fridge to chug in my garage fridge. But I mean, we're that close.
We are close.
Just finish up today. So give us your supers, your questions, your comments, and then we'll finish up with a big chug. And the Giants win today, by the way, in the inaugural edition of Bottom of the Pint. So good day had by all, and the Giants win 6-3. We're kind of doing like a mixed post game of 49ers, Giants, anything that you want to talk about. By the way, not that we do a ton of this, but the Warriors fell to 7. People aren't realizing the Clippers have a 3-0 series lead over the Warriors. Yeah. So now all of a sudden they're in the play-in. They're not, hey, they're going to, look at this. Oh, look at Jimmy, this and that. They're in the 7. They're in the play-in, man.
There's a lot of track left. I mean, if I'd feel much better. I'd feel much better if they were a month down the road. If this were April 27th, they got a lot. I mean, they're going to be limping towards the finish line. They got older guys. Steph's knee's not 100%. They got older. Jimmy's older. Draymond's older. Steph's older. They got a good vibe going for sure. But I would say they got a shot at the finals. I would say they're probably going to lose to Denver.
I think if they're a playing game, they scare me. And the only reason why, they've lost their last 3 playing games. So now they're a playing team. And the 7-8 right now would be Minnesota, which, look, I'm not afraid of Minnesota, but let's just say they don't win that game. So the way it works is you win that 7, you're in the 2, and you'd play Houston if the season ended today. No big deal. But if you somehow lost to Minnesota in the 7-8 on your own home court, and right now it's the Suns and Sacramento for the 9-10, let's say Kevin Durant and Devin Booker get hot, and they win that game. Kevin Durant walking into into Chase with the Suns playing the Warriors, losers out. And I don't like it because Durant could throw 50 on you and you could lose, and all of a sudden you're out of the playoffs. It was like, wait a minute, didn't we just love Jimmy and weren't we just talking about the finals? I just don't want to play in the play-in. It's like the NCAA tournament. You have 2 games. You lose to Minnesota in your home court. Durant comes in, throws 50, your season's over. So, it's just a minute ago, it was like, hey, they're in the 6. Things are looking good. Jimmy's great. And all of a sudden, the Clippers, which I think they play the Clippers the last game of the season. So it could come down to that last game of the season. I'm just saying, I looked at it this morning, and they were in the 7 hole because the Clippers have the exact same record, but the Clippers have the tiebreaker on them. And I'm like, that's not good. That is, and you just said it, man. Older team. They could get tired down the stretch. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
They look gassed.
All right, we're 6 away. We're 6 away.
Super 22 says Fuji Simeon. Who will be the Devondre Campbell on the Giants?
What, that just goes rogue? He's talking about somebody who goes rogue on him.
Who's I could see Jordan Hicks being Devondre Campbell on the Giants.
That's a good call,
if
man.
They go to Roop or they go to Birdsong and they throw him in the pen and he wants to start or relieve or start or close, and he's not starting or closing.
Totally.
He could be totally unhappy and 1 out. There you go, Jordan Hicks.
That's a good call. By the way, I want him as their 7th inning guy. I've said that the whole time. How cool would it be if he was coming out of the pen, throwing the 7th, throwing 102, and Duvall was in the 8th, throwing 100, and then Ryan Walker was coming in being a nasty ass in the 9th inning, and that's your 7th, 8th, 9, and you're playing a 6-inning game. Like, I don't need Hicks to be 5 and fly all year like he was last year. I know he was good, but he was 5 and fly. And it's like, wouldn't he be better used in the 7th, throwing 102?
Come on, this guy was awesome at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, he died. Put this guy back in the bullpen and let him be good for the whole year. Absolutely. Yeah. We're 6 away from 30.
6 away from an entire chug.
We're going to chug an
entire beer.
UFL starts tomorrow. Larry, how would a potential minor league system in the NFL work? Would this even be possible? Would teams be interested? First of all, it would work.
Oh my God, I'm glad you asked that question. So glad you asked that question.
It would work brilliantly. All you got to do is have teams with NFL monikers, where those teams
and people would love
those players. So you have a Niner team, and the players on that team are future Niners. They could be future other teams as well, but you have future Niners, and maybe there's multiple teams. Maybe you have multiple teams sharing. Maybe there's Niners and Eagles and Cowboys all on one team.
You could do it from division. You could just do divisions or something. But
yeah, you could do divisions.
The biggest thing is a guy like Trey Lance, who now there's rumors that he could go to Canada, and I hope he does, and I hope he shows, but he can't. He just doesn't have anywhere to get better. So, especially for that, but nowadays, and you know this better than I do, offensive linemen are not ready coming into the NFL. Quarterbacks are not ready coming into the NFL. Wide receivers need to get more refined. Like, where are they going to get better? There's a lot of guys that come into the league and are ready, but most of the guys, especially the quarterbacks, as we've seen, Mac Jones wasn't ready. Lance wasn't ready. Fields doesn't know how to throw from the pocket, even though he's a great athlete, can run around. They need a system, and I cannot believe with all the money that the NFL has that they haven't realized, as he just pointed out there, that you got to get these guys. They just got to get reps, man. Like Trey Lance needs to go to a league and play in 10 games and have a coach tell him, bro, you're the starter. We're not going to yank you. Just play, throw, make mistakes. That's what the league is get guys better. Do you know how much better the brand, the quality of the NFL would be if they had a minor league system?
People talk there's that. Then people talk all the time about, the quality is so low and this and that. The average person can't tell the difference between the quality in one league compared to another league. The average fan is not that sophisticated. They're just saying that because they know the NFL and they know these secondary leagues are secondary. So they're like, oh, it's not nearly as good. You would still watch it and it would still be entertaining. People watch high school football. People watch low-level college football. It's all about what's your motivation. If you put the NFL is so popular that if you put Raiders on it, Raider fans would watch it. If you put Niners, and let me just say this, there will be a day that the NFL is smart enough to commandeer this secondary league. And guess what's going to happen? Their secondary league is going to outdraw Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it.
Secondary league is going to outdraw the NBA.
I don't know why they don't do it.
Secondary league is going to blow away all other leagues. And then the NFL is going to realize, oh my gosh, look at this. We could have minted money forever and we just didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. If you put the logos of those teams and just said these guys play for the Niners, then they would watch it. It's just I don't think we as sports fans are kind of conditioned.
Do a regional traveling thing.
But that's
do
what
a regional.
Do. Yeah,
we do a regional.
They just got to play. These guys got to play.
Okay. So you have an NFC West team, let's say, and it plays in the offseason. Okay, play a game in Bakersfield, play a game in Sacramento, play a game here, play a game there.
People would come out too.
And people would go. People would absolutely go. All right, we're 5 away. Pine Needle dropped a super sticker.
Nice.
We got this one from Jim Molay. He says, the dog and I are now,
nice. The old ship.
He says, the dog and I are now watching from the old ship
all the time.
Tuna melt and skimshaw for me.
Nice call.
Side of bacon for the dog. Love having Giants baseball back on KREUG show. I'll be out there the 4th. Love you, fellas. Thank you, Jimmy.
The old ship, which was next to, the KMBR studios, or is next to the KMBR studios. We used to go there, pop in for a pop and head off. Of course, we wouldn't drive. I had a driver or Uber or something. But we used to pop into the old chip all the time. The people there are so great. And, we used to go there. By the way, side of bacon for the dog is a great call. We would always do, when the dog would come to us for lunch or something, we would do like a side of chicken breast and some brown rice or something and chop that up, and then he would eat it in 2 seconds. But that's side healthier. Of bacon for the dog, man. Nice call, man. Bro.
Your dog
Very
loves
nice.
You.
Oh, so much.
Fuji Simeon's in the house. He says, so minor league Niner affiliate, the Chico Niners? Yeah, why not? Regional.
Bro, people would go out. They'd go crazy. Like, they've got to find a way, honestly, because that's the whole thing. If I'm the Niners this offseason, how do you create leverage against Brock Purdy? You can't. Like, if you wanted to, Sam Darnold was out there. If you wanted to, Aaron Rodgers was out there. If you all that kind of stuff there, that's why it blew my mind last year that everyone's throwing all this money at receivers. There's receivers all over the place. But quarterbacks, the Niners are sitting there going, we will not pay Brock. It's like, and your second choice is Matt Jones? Like, you don't have any leverage, man. So whatever he's saying.
How do you think Mac's going to play, by the way?
Nah, I have no faith whatsoever. And you have the same connections I do. I talked to a couple of people that covered the Patriots, and it wasn't as much. They didn't lead with how he played, which was poorly after that first year, but they really protected him that first year. Very simple reads, ran the ball a lot, played defense, made things really simple on him. And then after that, when they tried to expand the playbook, he was terrible. I think what's going to happen is the local media is going to go absolutely bonkers because he can talk the game and he's really, really smart. And then he gets on the field and he stinks. But the other thing that they said was he's not a good guy. They said that people will not like him. He's not a good guy, but the media will be fooled because he can talk the game so well, but he can't execute it. And he got worse and worse and worse. Like where you're thinking, okay, he's going to get better. He got worse and worse and worse. And then you know this as well as anybody. When he was at Alabama with those 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, the talent around him was insane. And all he did was just tink, 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 just dink and dunk it all over the field and just not make mistakes. And he was great. And he only started for 1 year. And then we saw his body. I know that Brady had a bad body too, but he's a bad body dude. Like he's not in shape. So no, I don't think I don't think he is any threat. And some people have written and said that. From what I understand,
I'll tell you what
I don't
like
think he's any threat whatsoever.
What I like about him is I really believe that Brock Purdy has to be challenged. I don't think that you
think he's got to do it.
I just think that his presence will challenge Brock Purdy. I just think the fact that he's an NFL starter will challenge more so than Brandon Allen last year.
Oh God!
Who are your winners tonight? By the way, tonight's the College Sweet 16: BYU, Bama, Maryland, Florida, Arizona, Duke, Arkansas, Texas Tech. Who do you got?
Well, I had Duke going all the way, and believe me, I'm not a Duke guy, but I had them. I'd love to see Arizona win. I don't think they will. I went against BYU since the first round because I just wasn't a BYU fan, but they're going to give Alabama all they want. I love when we get to this point, man. This is awesome. Because you win a couple games in the tournament, whatever. But this is where if you're playing really well, this is where the real boys play.
Yeah, I'm going Alabama. I got Alabama and Auburn in the final, so I'm going Alabama. I'm going Maryland. I like the Crab Five.
Yeah.
They've been fun to watch.
Plus, when a team gets a game winner like they did and everything, you start to gain confidence. I don't know, that kind of stuff. I buy into that. Those games, by the way, I went to the NCAAs last time. That's fun. It's very different than a Warriors game, the vibe, but it's fun. Those games are really fun.
I like Maryland. I like Duke to beat Arizona, and I think I like Arkansas, Texas Tech over Arkansas.
I have Texas Tech in my Final Four, which means they're probably going to lose.
Texas Tech is good. Tech is good. All right, I guess we're going to finish 5 shy.
Oh, you got
5 shy of 30. We're not going to chug.
I was going to chug one more day beer.
One more day beer.
I guess
we need 5 supers to get to 30. Can we get to 5 supers?
5 supers.
We get out of here.
Should I walk to my fridge and see if we can get 5 supers?
I've got the beer ready. It's ready to roll. Look at that.
Because I've been getting a bunch of grief today. Oh, that is is that your Sierra Nevada that you got there?
That's a Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, no victory chug? Come on, man.
I'm going victory chug, but we're waiting on the 5 supers. I definitely will have one more. Tacky says no victory chug.
That's what he's saying. All we need is 5 supers. Even if you throw in a couple of bucks, we'll do that, man.
We need 5 supers. We'll do 5 supers.
So here's what I'll do. I'm
East Coast Red and Gold podcast. It's like, come on, chug it.
I'm gonna walk to my beer fridge. I'm gonna pick out a nice, but not an IPA. Like everyone was. I got I'm one of the. It's one of those random garage fridges that has a million different beers in it, and people apparently because I have a cooler full of beer, but it's full of those Coronas, and people are like, oh, and so I'm gonna grab one, but. All day long, people have been giving me grief. Like, I'm not chugging a 10% IPA. Like, I'm just not going to do that. Like, everyone's like, chug one, you know what I mean? But I got some nice beers in there. So, either we're going to chug one or we're not. But if people want to throw in like a buck or two,
we definitely will. We definitely
do
will.
a buck or throw a buck or two in, and we'll do a victory chug at the end. And then everyone join us for one. Don't just throw in a buck or two. But join us for a victory chug, and then that's a nice comeback win today.
Look at this.
All right, I'll grab one. Hold on, let me go grab one from the.
Fozzie, see if we can get 4 before John gets back. Fozzie says 4 more, 4 more seats now. Oh, wait a second, 3 more. Fuji Simeon. I think you missed my earlier question about MLB plans for new broadcast partner after ESPN deal ends after this season. Let me go back and check that. Let me see if Fuji had one in here that I didn't catch. Oh, here it is. Fuji Simeon says, any ideas on what MLB will do in replacing the broadcast deal post ESPN exit after this season? Just upgrade Apple TV or an Amazon package? I could see an Amazon package for sure. We'll see what John says. But yeah, I mean, what I hate about ESPN is that they totally backstabbed MLB. Then they took MLB and they're like, we're not even going to put you on the front page. Fuji Simeon says, any ideas on what MLB will do in replacing the broadcast deal post ESPN's exit after this season? Just upgrade Apple to Apple TV like they do on Friday nights, or will they do an Amazon package? Yeah, we're right there. So that was Fuji Simeon. We had the super sticker. Do you have a thought on the TV?
Boy,
package?
That is a hell of a great question. The bottom line is, Apple TV has been doing baseball, so I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Apple went ahead and jumped in on that. But that's what the platforms. That's why these guys are making so much money. Is these platforms like they're saying Brock Purdy's going to make? I guess I saw Jordan Schultz say between 50 and 55. I'm telling you, he ain't making between 50 and 55. All these platforms are jumping in, and we did the percentages and all these different.
You think he's going to make over north of 60?
I think he's going to make right around 60 or above. He's not making 50, and he's making more than 55 because Jordan Love and
56.
Well, the only reason I say that is because Lawrence and Love made 55. The cap went up 9%, and the salaries for the top quarterbacks, the top quarterback who gets a new deal every offseason since 2016, from Andrew Luck to Dak Prescott, has gone up on an average of 14% per year, or 144% over the last 10 years. So if Brock Purdy is the top guy this offseason, and he is, then a 9% and a 14% growth. I'm not saying he's getting 23%, but he's getting, even if it's a 10%, 5% growth over 55, then he's looking at close to 60. So I did a prediction on his contract. I think he's going to be at 59. And the only reason I think it's going to be 5 and 95 with 150 guaranteed. The only reason I say that is because the Niners are going to go to him and go, look, we're going to give you this deal to save face, keep us under 300. Now, AAV is stupid because he's not going to get all that money. He wants over 60 and over 300 is what his agent wants to be like, look what we did. The Niners are saying, look, we'll put it at 299 if we have to, but let's just not go over 300. Let's not go over 60. I think that's where their tug of war is going on right now. So he's getting over 55.
Will it get done by minicamp? I mean, at this point,
that's a great question right there, boy.
Jim Molay says, post the video link. What video link does he want? I'm missing that. Jimmy, what video link do you need?
I'm not sure.
He said from the old ship. I'm not sure. We got this one, East Coast Red and Gold podcast. We were on there the other day. He says, my two faves, let's effing go. So we are officially one away.
Somebody throw up one so we can do this.
One super away.
He wants the link to join the show is what he's saying, because he's down at the old ship. He said, where's the link to join the show?
I'm posting it right now.
Yeah, he's down at the old ship.
Here's the link.
I got to see. I haven't seen the old ship, and I haven't been down there for months.
Jimmy,
I used to go there like at least once a week. At least once a week, I'd do that.
I just posted it. There you go. It's right there. Hop in.
All right. I just grabbed out of my fridge a Anchor, because it is San Francisco. And look at that orange can for the victory. I looked through my cans, found an orange can of a tropical hazy IPA from Anchor, which Anchor's out of business. So this has been in there a while. But I thought, it's an orange can. So in honor of the Giants winning hazy tropical IPA, and I'm doing an IPA from Anchor, San Francisco Brewing Company, a brewing company in San Francisco, and an orange can. So there you go. That's a nice looking hazy.
All right.
There,
so
right?
Fuji Simeon puts us over the top at 30. He says, cheers,
good man.
Larry and John. Here we go.
Here's to a Giants victory today.
What's our show called? Pints for what?
Bottom of the pint.
Bottom of the pint.
That's exactly what this is. Bottom of the pint.
There we go.
That's the whole point of this.
I hear Molay's in the house. Jimmy, hold on. He's going to be here.
All right, let me hit this, and then we'll get out to
it.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Oh, that's beautiful! I cannot believe that you're at the old ship. It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, this is going down. This is going down right here.
Oh, you're at the old ship. That is so cool. That is so cool. Look at that, man.
The doggy down there.
Has he had the bacon yet? Oh, that's so cool.
a little bit of the bacon left.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
how's the old ship, bro?
Didn't work, so this is loud. Or probably loud. So
that's all right.
Good. Sounds
good. How's the old ship?
Old ship is rocking. There's Tony.
Rocking. Nice. Nice. Yeah. That's about over there. That's about 10 steps from the KBR entrance. From the
Jimmy, what'd you think? What'd you think?
Studios.
Opening day, we got a nice little win there.
What I got?
Look at that! Look at that!
That's an easy one. Come on, that's a rookie. That's an easy one.
There you go.
Rookie year.
Full chug.
Rookie year chug right there.
Oh.
What'd you think of the win, good. Man? They look pretty good today. They came back.
What's that?
What'd you think of the win?
Dude, great win. Come on. I mean, opening day, Buster's birthday, solid comeback. You know.
Yeah, it was good.
It was awesome.
It was a good way to start.
Great way to start.
You know, those people in Cincinnati were on their feet too.
As you said, dude, Cactus League, it doesn't mean anything. But let's be honest, you don't want to suck in Cactus League. You don't want to come out of Cactus League with like 6 wins. No one wants that. So sure, it doesn't mean anything. But you know, I don't know. We can't argue. There's a different feel under the Buster era already. You can already sense it.
Yeah.
I'm not there in the clubhouse. Krueg, maybe you'll be in there this year, but kind of just objectively, as a season ticket holder, I'm looking forward to this baseball season.
Good for you, man.
I just want to be competitive, dude. You're not going to take the West. Let's face it. Just be competitive. Get in the playoffs. If any team knows, then you get in the playoffs, dude, and magic can happen.
I agree.
My prediction, Jimmy, is A's and Giants both win the wild card. Both get to the wild card. I'm going for a dual Bay Area wild card this year. 2 wild card teams.
Absolutely.
A's and Giants wild card.
Jimmy, thanks for checking in thanks for checking in, man.
Right,
we appreciate it, brother.
I'm gonna get the headphones working. Love you, boys.
No worries. That was awesome to talk to you, man.
There you go.
Very cool. See, now that's legit. I mean, there's a dude in San Francisco hanging at the old ship in North Beach. I mean, that's cool, man. That's like I said, that's like 10 steps from right next to KBR Studios. That's very
right
cool.
there on Broadway. And
sorry, I should have waited, but I took it down. I hope people saw that. Yeah, I took down took that down while Jimmy was talking. The old Anchor. Yeah. That's a nice beer too, by the way. You're not gonna find any of these. This is an Anchor Hazy IPA Tropical.
No longer in existence. That was a collector's item. You just
I had actually I bought those. What's crazy is because for some reason the winters I don't drink a ton of beers in the winters, and so we have a beer fridge out there and it's got tons of different stuff in it, but it had a bunch of other beers in front of it, and I went way to the back because I saw an orange can, and this was the last one. I'm like, an Anchor Tropical Hazy, so a San Francisco brewery, and it's an orange can, perfect for the Giants win on opening day. So worked out perfectly.
D's like, y'all are buzzed. Well, we're at home. What can we do?
Yeah, it's what it is.
There you go. Mitchell and Ness's Anchor Steam is coming back.
Yeah, it is. They are coming back. That's very cool.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our first edition of our Bottom of the Pint. And we're going to be back next Friday for another edition. And it's going to be more day drinking because it's opening day from Oracle Park. So that's going to be sweet. So we'll have another event next Friday, and then Friday day, and then after that, it's going to be pretty much Friday night. Friday night at 4:00 when they're on the East Coast, 5:00, 6:00 in Denver, 7:00 on the West Coast. Join John and I. We're going to do this live stream in-game live stream. And we're fired up. I'm fired up. It was a good one today.
Yeah, really good time. And we'll have, like you said, we're going to add an overlay to this so you can watch the game as we're doing this stuff. And we just appreciate you guys coming out because, like I said, we wanted to do a trial run before the Friday nights, and why not do it on opening day? But I'm just stoked it's opening day, man. Baseball just means a lot. It means spring is coming and good weather's coming, and it's just, Giants baseball is fun. And I dug it that for the most part we kept it positive day. And just want to thank everybody for all the supers, man. It was very cool, and you came through like champions at the end, so we could chug a beer to have the victory chug. So, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Thanks to everybody for contributing, and I always love coming on the KREUG Show, man. It's awesome.
And once again, the last sip of beer here, but happy opening day to all of you.
Absolutely. Oh, take it down, KREUG. Let's go. Very nice.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked.